Now, going into this, we have mentioned, the likes of Fortress, the likes of the likes of Nighthaven Labs. Is there a ground for an unexpected pick here? Is there potential for, say, something like, we got to see a one-off layer, for example. We got to see something like maybe even any other of the maps, like a cafe potentially picked. Is there a ground for it, or are we just staying nice and steady for this one?
Oh, it's toughy. I think with this one, it's going to be that kind of case of like, well, you got pretty, if you're EDG, you got pretty haphazardly beaten on your maps yesterday, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something else coming out of these guys, right? Immediately my mind casts over to what do these teams know of Cafe Dostoevsky, because it's the one map we've not really seen inside of this CNL so far. Last veto earlier on today proved that EDG have a willingness to let it slip through, to at least play it. We didn't see it from them, so they've still not shown anything. It could be a great decider for this one, or maybe something a bit later inside of the series.
I'll be honest, I think as a team you can go into this with two types of mentalities. You can go in it thinking you're safe and sound, you go with the maps that everyone's used to, and you play it by the book. But there's also those certain teams that want to test the waters, that want to be a bit risky. So again, going with your cafe, maybe even Border that has been picked only 2 times in the entirety of these playoffs. I think maybe one of these two teams are going to take their chances and see how they can fare on a map that not everyone is used to.
Yeah, that's certainly the good shout as well, considering that both teams already have a good amount of knowledge, a good amount of understanding, and well, we do get the introduction of already a roster that we got to see. Edward Gaming, were better known as EDG. Travi, we got to see the highest of the highs and lowest of the lows, technically, if we take their matchup in the upper bracket finals. Yeah. So far, what do we expect here? Are they locked in?
They have to be locked in, right? We always see it in some of the bigger competitions in Siege. We see it at the majors and stuff where teams will play in these lower bracket runs. They build momentum, right, don't they, Cthulhu? They win a game, and especially if you're EDG, you've come off very hot striking at the start of the day. Looking the most convincing I've ever seen these guys up against the walls. Playing clinically, they've really found their identity now, and I think that's the biggest part for these guys. They're not this team trying to emulate what the rest of the CNL are doing and bringing in their aggression. They're happy to play their style of Siege. A little bit slower than the rest of the pack, sure, but it doesn't really matter because they're great at what they do. Mentalist, the IGL, leading this team direction, giving them a sense of direction as well. These guys know what they want to do. They know how they want to play the game, and it makes them a really convincing watch here. And I think now they've proven themselves against Wolves, they can carry that forwards into this game against all gamers, and I've got a feeling this one's going to be the match we all wanted to see yesterday.
Exactly that. Puffo, on the other hand, All Gamers, a roster that so far has been arguably the dominant one to come out of CNL. Do we expect them to, just rock up and have a clean sweep, another 2-0? Or do we think that now that we got a little bit of a teaser in the earlier game against Wolves, EDG might finally be able to put a bit of a dent on them?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here because All Gamers, like you said, from the upper bracket quarterfinals right now to the finals themselves, they've been a dominant force. They went 2-0 against EDG, and that is the expected result once more. But we take a look at the other side, right? The only map that All Gamers have lost to was Wolves Esports. That is the one team that has taken a map away from them. And who did Wolves just lose to today? It was EDG. So as much as I want to praise All Gamers because of how well their run has been, I believe EDG have risen up to the occasion, not only beating the team that have taken off a map from All Gamers, but this might just suit to be one of the best grand finals out there.
Exactly that. Now, in a head-to-head, we do have Direction versus Yaz. Understandably, though, I mean, considering how well Direction has been performing, it is a bit of a switch around in terms of the overall sort of KD ratios here between Direction and Yaz, isn't it, Travi?
It is indeed. And going into today, they are the top 2 performing players inside of the league. There is no doubt about it here. I mean, you look at a player like Direction, he has a plus 60 KD for Pete's sake. Yaz is doing great for himself as well, sitting at plus 43. So these players are by far and beyond the best that the CNL has to offer. 2 insane individuals that have this really great fragging prowess inside of these games. Really high percentage of rounds where they're making an impact there. You can see at the bottom there, cost 3/4 of rounds, both these guys are having an impact in their great EPS scores as well. They're phenomenal. They're really, really good players. And when we get to the international stages, they're going to go lights out performing. I think really shock the rest of the Siege world. But here inside of the CNL, watching these two go head to head, it was a bit of a treat yesterday. Despite the loss, Direction had some great moments in the series. And if the team can rally behind him today, like I say, I think it's going to be the close one.
Could be very much a close one. Puffo, though, it's something that I kind of actually originally forgot to ask you, and I do want to get your opinion on this. Now, on the side of Direction, phenomenal stats, great performance so far, but it's a very stark contrast in comparison to the rest of the team. Whereas you look at the All Gamers roster, that whole sort of the KD ratio has been evened out pretty well overall. So do we feel like the star power coming out of EDG will fare well against the consistency of All Gamers? Or is it finally, the time that EDG get their revenge?
Oh, it's kind of a question of an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Direction is that unstoppable force. And if the side of AG can exploit that, get rid of this standalone menace that stands from EDG, I think the rest of the stack from EDG are going to have themselves a bit more of a troublesome time. Like you said, All Gamers, they're more rounded up. EDG relying on that one player is not the best of directions, but if he's been doing well, let him continue doing so, and hopefully that can help you throughout the grand finals. I do feel like EDG shouldn't rely on that. I feel like they should take an approach like All Gamers. Play it together, play it all-rounded, play it well. Do not rely on a hero to constantly come saving your rounds.
Exactly that. Now, Travi, we got to touch up a little bit more on some of the picks and bans in terms of the maps. Let's actually take a look at the graphic itself of just how frequently we got to see some of those maps to get just a fuller sort of picture of the overall season, how Kickoff went so far. Because Nighthaven Labs has been king, but from here on, with all of this pool so far in front of us, does this stack, do we expect maybe something like, not even, well, you've mentioned Fortress, maybe something like Consulate even, or even a bank, or would those be even more of a niche sort of choice?
I think with these guys, anything is really open for the taking. I do think we're going to sort of stray away a little bit from the Fortresses and from the Lairs of yesterday, just because of how one-sided they were. I don't know if EDG have done enough improvement to feel comfortable bringing that in a best of 3 in such a short turnaround. I think we're going to see something a little bit different today. And what really starts me as well on this graphic, it is obviously from yesterday, was the defensive win rate on this graphic, right? Because you can see it, Puffo, as clear as me. It's a pretty high win rate on all of these maps.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, all of these maps, high win rate, but again, it's down to how comfortable these teams are on it. Most definitely, it also comes down to the conversation when you get down to the bans. Would you prefer banning out a map that you find uncomfortable, or maybe banning out the maps that the enemies find uncomfortable? Or rather, they find comfortable. It's kind of, again, it is a lot of choices these teams have to make in a split decision here going into the grand finals. But I think considering, again, this is the grand finals, no one really wants to mess about. We're probably going to see Nighthaven. Chalet, I don't think is going to be completely off the charts just yet, although I think we're all crossing our fingers, especially Dianic, for Lair.
Yeah, look, Lair would be one heck of a pick, considering that, look, we got to see a few of the picks there on it, and it's been a bit of a messy one as well on quite a number of the occasions. Though I will have to admit, Nighthaven Labs kind of ended up actually warming up to me. I'll be honest with you, because remembering the early few days, I was like looking at the videos, like, not another Nighthaven Labs. But now moving into just the
what the hell am I looking at?
What the hell
am I looking at?
Travi takeover, right? This is what Siege is all about, my friends. Siege is all about friendship. Siege is all about magic. Team synergy is the most important part of this one. And as you can see here, I've decided to demonstrate the best possible. One of my favourite people inside of the Siege scene here, Mr. Puffo Bob. Only because my Puffo photo folder is more expansive than anyone else in the Siege scene. Don't ask me how that's really happened. So we have the Puffo graphic here. And what this essentially represents here is for these guys, all players on the team need to step up to the mark, right? You cannot just rely on individual prowess. You cannot just rely on players like Direction, players like Yaz stepping up. You're going to need the whole team to perform. And when you're doing so, when you're sitting next to each other, friendship in the LAN, you're going to need to be, giving each other those fist bumps, giving each other those high fives, picking each other up and soaring into the skies. That's exactly what you're going to need for this one. And hopefully, friendship will be the key to victory.
What's the bottom one? Wait, what's this one? Where's my neck gone? Why do I... Wait, what's this one? Where's my neck gone?
I've got one question for you, Bob, based on this graphic. Look at whose feet are those on the right side picture. Whose feet are those?
I'll recognize.
Okay, one of them's Sherlock.
Any day.
One of them is
Dianic.
Sherlock. Good job. What? Damn, he's a ball knower. He knows.
I know my feet. I know my feet. What can I say? I'm an enthusiast.
Okay.
I know my feet.
Okay, man.
I don't want to be like boasting or anything, but
Okay,
I know
man.
my feet. Yo, Cthulhu's joined us as well.
We're here as well. All of a sudden, the moment any sort of mention of any more sus things, and all of a sudden I'm here as well. But jeez.
This one's beautiful, by the way. This one is very beautiful. Me and Travi,
it's-
linking. We are linked up twin.
Hello.
I've got one as. Oh, you're like Fuli. Look at you. You're all.
We're all here. Surely
We
at
are
this
all
point we
Puffo
just we're all Puffo. Maybe the real Puffo Bob is all the friends with me at the end of CNL here, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, I just noticed that's me
man.
and Travi over there, like barely opacity driven down, like barely transparent. That's
Yeah.
We are.
For reference as well, just the reason why we're also waffling here, ladies and gentlemen, is not because we just feel like, torturing you and just delaying the actual siege goodness. It is because we are also waiting for the matchup to actually happen and come to fruition. So in the meantime, we get the Dianic cameo and very much for the live camera.
I die.
I'm not meant to be here. Get my boy Jack in here. Get my boy Jack in here.
Dianic the foot. Dianic is a foot now.
She's looking shorter than normal.
Dianic, what happened?
I don't know, man. I just sang
man.
I got small.
That's
I got
it.
small.
Small
Get
Dianic.
Tiaki as well. Where do we put
Very
Tiaki?
cool.
Where do we put Tiaki?
I say the sausage. I say on the sausage on the right.
On
remember
the
that one, Bob?
sausage.
The sausages on the
Oh,
sausage.
yes. On the
Eat that sausage.
on that snake, on that solid snake. You put him right on there.
Oh man.
This is the last time I'm ever allowed to design
That
a
is
desk
so
segment.
suspicious.
Oh yeah.
There he is. There he is.
There's the man. Yeah, by the way, no Mike Tiaki as well, so very epic
Tiaki
as
has
well
been
here.
silenced.
Who is letting this production cook?
Oh, man.
Which one of you guys has let this
All of
production
us.
cook?
All of us.
It is
That's it. That's
absolutely insane.
okay. Okay. I do believe we're finally getting the call that we do in fact have to get serious here, gamers. We finally have our picks. All gamers EDG bring us the layer. Shout out to Dianic.
Yes.
Nighthaven Labs, and then a consulate should we need it. Which, I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. Lair is the one that I was kind of 50-50 on it. I didn't really think that we would actually, in fact, get to it. But, oh man, Nighthaven Labs. No, actually no. Let us, in fact, focus on Lair here, gamers,
yeah.
because I feel like it is going to be just about as chaotic as just that previous expose that we had.
It's a bold pick here to let this one slip on through if you're EDG. The good news is, though, if you are Dianic right now, Lair yesterday was speedy, but here going in towards this one, these teams are looking excited. I'm really loving this, Cthulhu. I think this is a really good map beater. We got some of yesterday. It's going to be great.
Alrighty, there we go. Well, we do get our reintroduction, I suppose, on the grand final stage. EDG now on the viewers' screens, and it's a roster that actually got pretty well activated going into the very first, well, I suppose call it the lower bracket finals as well. Matchup against Wolves, they managed to have a fairly effortless run, all things considered, and now they're standing in front of us, all warmed up, I would say. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, warmed up is a good way to put it. I mean, EDG already played their match. Now, all gamers have been on a bit of a cooling session, but I think both these teams are as ready as they get.
Yeah, these teams fired and ready to go. Like I say, EDG coming off quite hot off the press from yesterday, or earlier today rather. All gamers as well, doing well for themselves. Yes, they got to sit back, relax a little bit this morning, just watch the opposition sort of play, maybe take some final minute notes and kind of see where they go for this one. I think this is shaping up to be a really interesting rivalry here in the CNL. We said it right at the start, didn't we, Cthulhu, in the group stage. This one's going to be the rivalry. This one's going to be one of the big sort of back and forths that really happens on this kind of national level. And I feel here's a really great opportunity for a fun old rematch between these guys.
A fun all rematch. We haven't seen it for a bit too long, and I think EDG deserve themselves a good second chance, and this is it. This is that second chance. Even though both these teams do qualify to the Salt Lake Major, it by the end still comes down to who is the best in CNL right now to finish off the league and really set a tone who has risen to the occasion. But still, when it comes down to these two teams, you know, we've seen one result, Travi. I think it's just about this time we see a bit more of a back and forth rival.
It has to be. It's for the Phase 2 major spot, this one, isn't it, Puffo? We've not really talked about the stakes for this game. The winner goes directly in towards Phase 2 of the major. Doesn't have to play through Phase 1 with the rest of teams from all the world. You get that buy, you get that guaranteed. More importantly, bigger prize pool, more SI points. It's all to play for inside of this one. And I just cannot wait to see this game play out and hope that it is closer than yesterday's affair.
Yeah, closer than yesterday's affair would be a lot more fitting for a grand final, and even then, I think EDG realized that more than any of these teams. I mean, right now, all gamers must be quite confident realizing the result they've already had, but right now, it's up to the big stage. EDG already warmed up from their Wolves match, and now they head into the grand final. All teams are in talk, you know, they're prepping up their final last plans for execution and how they're going to handle Layer, because that's quite an exciting map to kick us off with.
It's a great map.
Now,
it's a fun
now
map.
To think,
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's a phenomenal map. Now, to think sort of in the foreseeable future right now as well, we got to see the playstyle of Edward Gaming. We got to see previously how AG would be able to pull off. Do we expect AG to actually play a very sort of passive game? Say when it comes down to the defense and maybe slightly less passive on the offense, or do we get to? Do you reckon we get to see them to full send it directly into, you know, full aggression state?
Oh, I think we see some aggression.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah,
It's gonna be good.
it's going to be good. I
aggression.
think this region in general has been loving its aggression, even though it's not the type of aggression you see with your ranked solo queue bronze teammates. It is the type of aggression that is well-paced, well-timed, and of course coordinated with the rest of the team. Now, but yeah, that's basically to summarize what we're going to be seeing.
Summarize exactly what we'll be seeing. Yeah, MC as well getting a bit of a highlight. One of the players on the AG roster that got to see quite a fair bit of the international exposure as well, in a similar position as you could say in a certain capacity as Mentalist. It is a battle of both of the rosters that have some of the players that introduced quite a lot of the international knowledge and experience coming out of the remainder of the APAC, and now get to really full send to it. Now, right now, I'll put both of you on the spot here, gents.
Oh,
Okay.
Predictions for Leia. How are we feeling?
okay.
Whoa.
Travi, you want to go first?
To let it slip on through, I've got to back EDG for this one. I've got to be honest with you, boys. I think if they weren't going to let this in after yesterday, if they were not confident they've got some magic cooked up in it. So I think it's going to be a slogfest. It's going to be overtime, but I've got to say it's going to be EDG to kick us off.
Okay. You know,
Alrighty.
just yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just quickly say all
on
gamers
your
to
side.
oppose Travi.
Alrighty, all gamers to oppose Travi. Well, we do get the first map to get to kick off. It is going to be Dianic and Tiaki taking us through map number 1.
And here we are at the grand final of CNL. Not only did we pull out the sunnies and the suit, because today we are crowning the champion of CNL, the first ever time China League has entered Rainbow Six Siege. And on top of that, today we crown the finalists, who then will be going into phase number 2. Joining me on the caster desk will be Tiaki. How are you doing? Are you excited for this matchup?
No, it's Leo. But anyway, regardless on the situation, it is going to be a very fun map to watch. Biggest things to take into consideration. Oh my, that is the largest prediction score I think I've ever seen so far in the CNL. AG, given everything over to their side, everyone's expecting them to basically go through and win this map off. But when we're talking about the map of Leia, we've seen it being played out. The other side of the coin as well, EDG, they kind of don't exactly have the stamina at this stage. They've lost a lot coming in through playing Wolves. Now they've got to verse the big boys, the guys that made it all the way through. It's going to be a very, very scary outlook.
Exactly, that is what's scaring me, right? The durability. Can these players withstand 2 best of 3s on the same game, or is their power already gone? The good thing, of course, is they have Mentalist, a player who's already done this multiple times, but also scrimming daily, multiple 4 hours. Durability is being trained, but we both know that when it comes to an official game, when you are in the grand finals, those are 2 different things, right? You have nervous building up, your durability, can you withstand? And now you're playing for the big fish. You can ghost directly to the phase 2, you can crown yourself the champion. But can they reset, right? Can they take everything from yesterday and play it completely new and not make the exact same mistakes? That's where I worry.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, as far as we've seen from the side of AG, they are the most formidable squad we've had so far in the CNL. A very scary outlook when put in the right position, and immediately going on the attack is probably not what they were looking for. Going straight on the attack, going into lair. It's not exactly where you want your starting point in most situations. But of course, EDG going on to the defensive side, they will be a little bit happier and will need to find some sort of direction to dismantle AG's attack.
Oh, Moonlight just maybe dropped his contact lenses there a little bit on the floor. It doesn't matter. It does seem like they're picked up. But yes, listen, starting over layer, I think both of us are a little bit of a layer haters already. It's not the greatest, most entertaining map, but it is a really good competitive map. We cannot take away from the fact there's a lot of things you can do. It's a setup. You can either decide to go quick and easy or do a full-on round, direct setup, long setup. There's so many variables that you can do here. Beautiful mirror trick, by the way. Gone with that thermite charge, not bandit tricking. That's, listen, that's 1900s. We're arriving at the 21st century of mirror tricks.
Well, straight off the bat, it is Carpe. Perfectly set up. Nitro Cell goes out, doesn't find the potential kill that he was looking for. That should give MC the chance to move up and get that wall opened quite quickly. So an entry point is now up and running through masks into Master. Of course, Ops Room as well will be the most likely section. Keep your eye on Solo Mid playing on that Blackbeard to put a bit of a threat on that angle. But with the rest of the preparations and with the rest of the setup, it's looking pretty scary from AG. They're really taking their time to kind of flush out the defense here.
Time will be key, but look at this already. 2 players will be falling. Make it free. EDG finding every single time a response, and that's how quickly it can be. 2 shield operators, they won't do you any good because EDG got damn did they hold down.
Beautiful plays from them, just collapsing on player locations, immediately crumbling the opposite side of the coin and causing way too many problems for AG. There just wasn't really that backup that we have seen from them in the last couple of games that they've been playing. But for the most part, on their end, it looked like a good setup. It looked like they got a decent chunk of utility taken off and were able to really push straight through. But look at this. just not enough cover. The jump in is made, but immediately it's just everywhere. A collapse on every single player, and angles finding each of these players' position.
Already the first round, DDG, they do seem like they've changed up a few things, but it's only the defense here as well. Let's not forget, at the end of the day, last time they played All Gamers, they didn't look the greatest. They looked a little bit rusty, but hey, yo, maybe that match before got them a little bit warmed up. You know, that also is gonna do a little bit of benefits, right? You have the communications warmed up. You already got those slight little mistakes out of your gameplay. You know, you don't feel all too rusty. That might be really good here for EDG, but All Gamers, of course, they had the chance to analyze, to watch, to see. So maybe it just takes here a few rounds for them to actually really turn on again like before.
Well, that's what it comes down to, right? When you're versing a team for the first time, especially if you haven't, well, I shouldn't say the first time, but if you're versing a team again that you haven't had the opportunity to go up against in, a day almost, it makes sense that you're going to be on a little bit of that back foot trying to figure out what is the next steps to go through in this situation. And I mean, AG, they're going to start off with a little bit of a problem. That first round showed how EDG have really entered this map so far and how warm they really are coming from the previous sets of maps over on Club. And now it just starts to beg quite a few questions. Where does AG start to pick up their gameplay? And where will we start seeing EDG formulate plans, come up with ideas, and change things around?
Where do we see All Gamers kind of go for that, what they always do, go to setter, doing the verticality, even on other maps they've shown, and this is their typical go-to. Of course, they're going to have to apply a little bit more pressure on site. Mentalist will be taken out by, well, a pistol, you could say. Unfortunate start to the round of EDG, but they are on the basement. They have an Echo and they have the smoke. Those two right now are the most important operators in my eyes, considering what Echo's already played through in so many other of these rounds. Before this exact day of the grand final, Echo, the operator himself, has been huge impact in multiple rounds.
And this is where it really starts to formulate in terms of AG. They found the first. That's going to be an immediate pickup from MC. Exactly what you want to find from him. On the opposite end, we've got control upstairs. Vertical play coming into effect. Actionable play on that bottom floor as well into garage and warehouse. The shotgun. I love to see teams using it. They've been using it a lot more often recently, but there's a lot to make it clear on. That damage is so huge on July. Manages to pick up one, and we're starting to see the kill feed light up as Yaz and Solo Mid both get caught, but with 25 seconds remaining, a play needs to be made. Railgun's got the diffuser. He needs to get into sight. Cleared will be Moonlight finding one. Carpe finds the counter pick, and that's plant opportunity for Railgun, but he knows that there's a player quite far away. It's going to be him taken down. There's no more time left in the round. Maybe just too long coming up with an execution, and Direction will finish us off.
Moonlight trying to keep up a little bit the hope from the side of All Gamers, but as for right now, there shall be no hope. EDG yet again proving here why they do deserve it to stand next to All Gamers in the grand final. Again, yesterday they may have taken a little bit of a hit, but they do seem completely reformed, right? I see already a lot of less mistakes. They're very calm. They don't really overpeak just like yesterday. And here again, it could be this warm-up. It could be just the fact that they've just previously played a best of 3, and all these tiny little mistakes that they've done before are already eliminated, and they're already smoother with their strats. This was fantastic. Moonlight did something really good here. He did the unexpectable, jumping in, winning the unexpectable gunfight, put his team in an advantage, but he couldn't really act upon it because everyone was scattered around the map. No singular player from All Gamers was really together, and Monty was pushing alone, so we both know that was a really tough thing to deal with.
I'm a little bit concerned from what I'm seeing from All Gamers. It feels like they're a little bit just kind of giving a few positions away and really not capitalizing on the kills that they're able to make within the round, or potentially find directional angles. By the way, Leia in itself is a defender-sided map, so EDG getting these rounds, yes, it's big for them, and they would absolutely love to continue getting all of these rounds, but it is a 55% chance that they will pick up these rounds. Of course, when you're two teams of the same caliber, it makes it even closer. But in this case, AG, they're on the back foot, 2 rounds down, going into the third. This will be where we start to see tertiary sites coming into effect. That first floor setup and potentially plant point from Solo. He just starts sending through all of those sends. The plant's going to go and be attempted. Nitrocell goes through. It finds Railgun. They tried to go for a quick play, but Carpe must be able to hear this player close. He finds another one with the shotgun. It's not working out for AG, as Mentalist will take a little bit of damage as well.
I was trying to make a point of how the tertiary side should be the main point for all gamers to get at least one victory, but already it's starting really, really rough. Losing Solomon and losing also the Sens and the Monty, 2 operators which are viable, and the key for this strat already gone. That was a really good shot. At least Mentalist from the stairs is gone. That is the Azami, the placeholder. But it's not going to be as easy jumping into the window, because look at him on July already waiting for somebody to just make a slip up, a mistake. But here again, tertiary side is one of the most difficult sides to defend, and EDG, they've had a fantastic start.
Oh, it was almost a potential kill, but unfortunately, it will be the death of 2 players from AG. Yaz, the only man remaining, and EDG looking so comfortable on this map of Leia, way better than they were looking yesterday. Maybe, just maybe, they were saving it for today. They knew they would end up coming back here after versing Wolves. And now it's time to bring out the main strategies. And that seems to be putting AG for a bit of a turntable. They're a bit on the back foot in every single regard. Yaz manages to find one though, knows that a few players are underneath as well. But every single line has a crossfire. Its direction potentially to be found first. Carpe instead is going to be found. 20 seconds remaining on the board. Surprisingly, this is actually quite doable, but it is going to be immediately ended. Shotgun in hand, and EDG take their 3rd round. We should be seeing potentially a tactical timeout. I think we are.
Not only we might see a tactical timeout, but also the 3rd ban comes into play. Now EG, of course, now trying to speak to their coach a little bit what's going wrong. Just right there, when Yaz was getting that kill in that 1v3, my boots were starting to shake a little bit. Yaz is one of the players within the top 5 who has the most clutches within CNL, so I wouldn't really underestimate how strong he can be. Yaz also yesterday being the MVP in this matchup in between these 2 teams. So if there's one person to give the respect to, it is Yaz, and we saw EDG do exactly that. Don't overpeak, hold the crossfire. If he swings, he is going to die to one of us. But already getting that first kill, I don't know, got me a little bit scared, because it can be so good.
Well, I'm still backing AG regardless of the situation. I want to see them change it all around. 3-0 at the moment. EDG well in control, and just really no answer. A bit of a change up coming in from them within the last few rounds. We saw more of an aggressive style of play rather than, and in this case, slowed down, coordinated setups, executions, and that sort of point. It was just complete and utter almost madness. That took a lot of HP off of him, surprisingly, that shotgun. But in saying that, it's now time to run it all back, see what they can do. The Clash will be banned off the board as the 2nd set of bans comes through. But I mean, like, EDG, right? They've locked down all 3 sides, primary, secondary, and tertiary. They know how the setup's going to be. AG knows how the setup's going to be. Where does this change come into effect?
That's what I struggle a little bit to understand, because Clash wasn't really one of the operators that was quite heavily utilized by EDG. We must also say Clash was one of the operators being utilized yesterday in the play, but not today. The first 3 months that we saw, we did not see a single Clash. Yes, maybe initiating that, thinking all gamers might not ban that operator so we can keep it up, or banning it as a precaution. But here, it doesn't really matter because that operator wasn't played. Meaning all gamers, yes, they've banned a very annoying operator to deal with, but wasn't really, didn't feel like to me like that is the key to success. On the other side, EDG has banned out Okabe, and we all know that this operator initiates a lot of pushes, initiates a lot of going forward, taking space without needing to drone or even get that intel, right? They can just go in because they can hear the phones ringing. So both bans pretty good. I'd say a little bit EDG's ban a little bit stronger.
I completely agree with you. Although the Clash really hasn't seen that much of its presence within the map so far, it makes sense to get it off the board. It is one of those powerful operators in play, but 2 minutes remaining on the board. EDG holding on to that top floor section. Ops handed over, to the side of AG, and immediately Direction knows where this potential push is coming from, and this is looking a lot better from AG. They're starting to slow down their play and potentially find directional avenues in towards this site. But it all comes down to resilience at the end of the day. How resilient are you going to be when the rounds start becoming tough? And for EDG, I mean, look, they've got 3 on it, but don't let that overconfidence start causing issues. Boy, that was close with the Thorn Trap.
Absolutely, he just barely got away, but also, do you see what he did with the sense gauges? He got a lot of information, but stood on it to give accurate pinpoint spots of these operators, of the enemies. From the side of all gamers, they have a very good understanding where these opponents are, but can they utilize that? Can they bring that into a good execute? Because right now, of course, they're going for the default, but there's so much that's going to go against it, right? There's going to be Mentalist. He sneaked by. Nobody really knows he's in that corner. All that now means is, if nobody checks it, if he does not being spotted, means he can get away with a kill, maybe with a second, and he will. Mentalist, he gets 2, but he's looking for more. He doesn't want to end the killing spree just yet. He wants to get at least 1 more freebie because he knows he's going to go down, and he will, but he's already done his deed.
Damage dealt to AG. 2 members taken down, leaving them with only 3. MC tries to get in, potentially looking for a plant in towards Mars, but with the timer slowly running down, he's going to have to figure out another avenue with 3 seconds remaining. Runs right up and through the Deimos from down below, tries to push the Tachanka off, but Carpe manages to find the kill. And that is an unlucky round when it comes down to it. The diffuser, the 6th defender, Dianic, the timer, always causes problems.
Every single time. But you know what I love about this match right now is the fact that all gamers, they didn't have this issue yesterday, but EDG did, and then it completely flipped the script, and now all gamers is having the exact same issues. They can't really seem to figure out and execute. They keep getting away, the side of EDG, with these sneaky plays. Mentalist, absolute fantastic. He saw the opportunity, gets into that tiny little space where the fire does not reach, gets away with the first kill, gets the diffuser, and he's done everything he needs to do, because all this execute has fallen apart. There was so much reliance on the ace to go in, but he was not expecting it, and that was the key play. And EDG, they just completely flipped the script. All gamers, they're fighting with the time. Yesterday, they seemed like the time is on their side, like constantly their buddy, the way they were playing.
It is a complete and utter facade with the way that this game has been going. AG, they were the team that everyone was expecting would come in and just dominate. They were able to do so incredibly well yesterday. And now EDG has just come back and said, look, we gave you a little bit of options on our map, but for the most part, it's our map. So we'll play it again, and this time we'll actually show you how we're going to approach and play with it. And it's just coming up round after round. It really shows how big coordination is within this game. Every single aspect is being basically cut off in its entirety from EDG, and AG really don't have anyone to answer straight back. I was expecting a few more plays to come up and through. There hasn't really been anything yet.
Ooh, absolutely. And it just keeps kind of going right here again. Moonlight losing his life to a cheeky little run around. Not expecting for only July to really walk up these stairs, swing around, peek that. But we must also say here, EDG, they're having an absolute steamer, right? They're coming on with a big momentum. They just won 2-0. They're 4 rounds up. All gamers need to stop this momentum right now, because if they don't do it right now, what's going to happen is just going to continue on to the attack. If you have a team with so much confidence, you can just pull the G2 effect. The G2 effect basically is if they have the momentum, they're unstoppable because nothing can break their ego. And all gamers need to make sure they stop it right now, or I can really see this going a 5-1, not even 6-0 swap for EDG.
I think if we see a flawless half, it will be the complete and utter flip the script for EDG. It's just not something that people were expecting. This is supposed to go for at least 2 good games all the way to the edge of those games, or 3 games even. This isn't supposed to be a short match. This is supposed to be a very, very long one, and I think AG are just struggling in their entirety, excuse me, to find any way to breach this defense. Everything is perfect from them so far. Direction manages to get away. That's beautiful shots coming in from Railgun. Won't find the kill in Direction, but it will find the kill on Mentalist. Dropped down, movement in towards the site. Plant opportunity on the B side. He needs to remove that Echo drone. The Yokai can cause so many problems in the right hands, and that's 2 shotgun shells going straight to the face as Angelai and Carpe clean up the round. 5-1 is a definite now.
Well, it does show yet again why Direction is the top player of the whole CNL tournament. I mean, just look at that. His teammate losing the position, he moves in and all he does is get me my shotgun and the Echo. Perfect timing, right? He was on the cams. He was there ready to give the support. Sometimes you don't need the gun to assist with support. You need the utility, and that is what Direction needed in a moment. He got it. He was delivered it, and it just started from beginning on, right? This opening kill, for example, on July, swinging around, not being expected for it to happen. You gotta expect these plays. And here, look at this. Echo John, the second one tries to come in with the refrag, and Direction gets both because close corner, shotgun, smoke shotgun will always be better than any other gun you have. It has worked the other round before because it wasn't the smoke, but it was the Echo play in that position. You see the adaptation. Smoke wasn't playing there. Echo did. It didn't function because it was close cornered. They swapped it to a shotgun and it worked out.
I feel like, Diana, we're about to see a ban in the CNL. EDG will not have access to Leia anymore. I think after this game, that's exactly what we're going to find. EDG just, they can't be on this map. Anything that they do at the moment seems to be working out, and there is absolutely no answer coming in from AG. It's weird. It's like they're vexed. Some sort of completely complicated confusion is going on right now, and we're not seeing the AG of old. We're not seeing the AG of any of the games that they've played so far. It's the exact same as we were talking about with EDG yesterday. It was a completely different ideal. Everything was different about EDG. It shouldn't have happened the way that it did. And now, AG are the ones looking like it. I guess players and teams just have good days and bad days. And at the moment, it appears to be AG's bad day. They're going to need to wake up soon and stop with all of the hesitation towards their players.
The big question is, can they bring this one back to not allow this one to be already the match point, the 6 so flawless? needs to be denied right now. There's no second chance. Of course, there's a second map, but listen, if it's a 6-0, might as well just go to the second map, call it over, done and dusted, and get yourself out of this map. If all gamers want to have a fight, if you want to keep fighting for Lair to be theirs, they need to do it as for right now, because this is their map pick. Map number 2 was picked by EDG, which is Nighthaven Labs. So the fact that they're already not performing on their own map pick is so detrimental. But this could be a skyscraper type theme, right? 5-1 swap, bring it back on the defense, and they can do it. But they need to get the kills. And as for right now, EDG is doing a fantastic job on staying alive.
Now this is looking a lot better from AG. Carpe is going to be brought down. His position well known. Solo mid's going to take a decent chunk of damage from direction on the upstairs section, but Railgun needs to find a way to get that diffuser placed down on the ground. Problem is, you've got a Solus upstairs that can just completely counter that. Luckily, Moonlight is a Thatcher. The correct use of that Thatcher can completely disrupt direction upstairs, and they will be able to. Diffuser is placed down now. 40 seconds remaining on the board. A bit of movement needs to come into play. Yes, he's able to clean up Mentalist on his rotation. The pressure has been alleviated from that side. Moonlight spots the head of one, will confirm the kill. Or does he? I don't think he does. Bottom Love's still alive. He'll confirm the kill now, shooting through the wall. But this is a great answer back from AG. Where has this been the entire game? Direction manages to find another, but it's a great answer to come back. And that's what we needed to see. Why are we only waking up now?
It took a little bit of time, but better now than never, I would love to say. Of course, it was only one round in the attack. It's not ideal. The default is a 4-2 swap. We have the tech timeout now in the half. They can speak to the coach while we swap at the bomb sites. But I mean, what a rough game so far for the side of all gamers. This is not what we know from them.
All right, let's have a quick listen in to the
We don't need much, okay?
coaches.
Like 1-5 just plenty enough, okay? We're gonna fuck them on defense, okay? So basically, what we need to do now is like we play our default, okay? Like really balance strats, okay? When because they like to like go away and go on the other way, okay? So we play our defaults with traps, with denial, because they like to play shield, etc. And like that we cover everything.
有人习惯拉扯，所以我们把末日战术拿先请出来就
把道具用好 ，OK， 然后打到地下的时候，记得重车撞车，对吧？我们开局怎么说的？波哥留一留，你的可以留，其他3个人把那个撞了，地下点，对吧 ？K， 地下点把那个车给撞进去，把那个信息拿出来，我们看一下我们怎么打 ，OK。然后一楼点，昨天很可惜那个包没拍下来，但是你看到了他们是。
And we're back once again. The coaches still just having a little bit of a chat to their players. But it was interesting to hear what was said from the opposite side, from AG. Don't worry about the 1-5 situation. It isn't an issue. We're going on the defense, and then we're just going to start racking up rounds.
Black, and that's what I was talking about, right? They need at least one round. It's kind of the same as Skyscraper. The ones who were watching Skyscraper in the last competitive pool, we all know it was a 5-1 swap, and it didn't really matter because then the defense came into place. Skyscraper was a heavily defender-sided map for years and years and years, and sometimes it just doesn't matter, right? Sometimes if you are a better defending team, if you can't pull it together on the attack on the first time, look forward to the defense. And yes, Lair has been here for a year in the competitive pool, but I would still say that it is so much defender-sided. They can pull this one back, and I think for Tiaki, this is exactly what they need, because, I mean, you love all gamers, don't you?
Oh, love's a strong word, but if we're looking at a lot of the teams in the competition so far that have been enjoyable to watch, and we've seen some incredible players from, I mean, I'd put 4AM up there, I'd put all gamers up there, but there's a variety of people that I would put up to bat in terms of the CNL. I love all the teams. But AG just has something special. The first game that I ever did was all gamers, so you gotta show them some love here and there. In regards to this,
you know, they just give you a little bit of a side eye, you know, they like a wink.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm sure that's what happened.
Oh, well, the timer coming down. We start kicking into the round again. And this is where there needs to be some answers back from all gamers. They've been able to get 1 round. That's 2 rounds of safety for themselves, but they really cannot mess up in any regard. EDG are on a steam run so far, and every single action has had a beautiful counter reaction from them. But remember, as I mentioned, Dianic, this is a defender-sided map, so maybe, just maybe, we might see the same response on the opposite end.
Just maybe. They're gonna have to prove it to us, unfortunately. EDG on the other side, right? They're coming off a really hot steamer. 5 rounds in a row, 2 maps already won in the lower bracket final. The momentum is yet to be stopped. Of course, 1 round is good, but it doesn't really stop a momentum. You need at least 3 rounds to stop a full-on momentum. Put a kind of a brick in front of their feet. So if they can get at least 2 more rounds, then we can really say the momentum has been killed, and that could then bring a lot of benefits with it. But unless that happens, it's going to be really, really tough until then.
I'm a little bit concerned for the mental game that's going to be coming in over the next couple of rounds. Let's assume that EDG managed to win this out. They will end up going over to Nighthaven, and if that map does get flipped over to the side of AG, it's a 5th map to be played in the day. That's got to put a lot of exhaustion on your players as a coach, and you will have to expect that going into it. But with 60 seconds remaining on the board, this looks like we are starting to see a bit of a structured approach. They're getting masks opened up for a potential plant opportunity, but at the same time, it's covered from every single angle. There's not really any position that needs to be jumped in at this stage in time. 50 seconds on the board. Nitrocells prepped and ready to go as on July, looking to make his entrance in towards the bathroom side, trying to push that player off of servers and display area. But for Mentalist on the opposite end, he can just wait this out.
30 seconds, C4 still being held tightly in those hands, ready to be thrown. The first few steps are being done towards bathroom and the first kills as well, but S4 right now will remain just even grounded. EDG are taking a sweet time here. Every single second they're trying to make it count, but Yaz unfortunately is going to stop that one. And Montinar Mentalist is on the breach, trying to go for the default plant, will be stopped by the fire, and unfortunately, as the time ticks down from the looks of it, EDG, they're unable to even get a slight moment of success. As every single step here again, all gamers seem to have the answer onto their paper already written down before it happened. And this is now exactly that we were talking about, right? That good motivation from the coach, bringing it in. The first round on the defense. And 1 more round to really stop a momentum.
Through the fire and the flames. That's exactly what was going on in Mentalist's mind. He was trying to get that plant down, but unfortunately not able to do so. And that ends up costing the round, even as the round goes down to, I think it was a 2v1 at the end, almost a 1v1 scenario. But AG, they secure that first round. Yes, it was a little bit scary, but that's something that we've seen from EDG recently. They really like to wait that timer out until the last couple of seconds, make that execute, but sometimes it's that timer that causes so many problems for them. We saw them in the last game, not the Wolves one, but the one before against AG. It was a big factor in causing so many problems on their side. Every single time, the time would just completely cut them out with no real option in the play.
Must also say that yesterday, when All Gamers was playing layer, this is nothing unusual. They're kind of just repeating what they did, right? They're really hugging onto the time, trying to play it slow and steady. EDG, they know they're gonna have a problem with that. In the first round, I didn't see a difference, right? I saw a lot of difference within the defending side, but they need 2 attacking rounds now to close the first map out. This is where my issue lies a little bit, right? I need to see a difference from EDG. They need to really be careful of the time. I mean, they tried to do an execute within the last 20 seconds. Listen, in the 20 seconds minute, that would have worked out perfectly, but we're not there anymore. You need longer. You should be doing it earlier because it's unexpected. The second the timer hits 25, 30 seconds, you know the execute is coming. And then everybody just pumps up their attention span even further.
Surprisingly, it's the same ideals as we saw last time. 2 members from the side of EDG positioned upstairs, ready to go, while the rest are clearing out utility on towards the site. It's going to be a direct fall. That's a big pickup there from Bottom Love, being able to take over, or take out, I should say, one of the 2 yokai drones that is up and available. That will make it so much easier for the play to be made when they go for the diffuser being placed down. But again, just look at this position. Moonlight is upstairs, as well as, I think Solo Mid's dropped back down to site. So Moonlight's going to be the rotation from AG. He's going to find where the roamers are and potentially a few kills. It's only Carpe up there at the moment, as the rest of EDG is prepping for a one-directional push. But will this be the back end? Will this be the problem that will come through if Moonlight finds this kill?
Standing strong in that corner from the looks of it, it does seem like Carpet has a good idea that he is there. Key of waiting, but unfortunately All Gamers is the team that can wait out a lot of the times, trying to bait his kill. He's so aware of the position. Look at All Gamers waiting, not doing anything, wasting the time. 35 seconds. Carpe is still not moved a slight bit. While the other team is trying to push down below. Flashbangs and nades. The black pit direct in front, but he's trying to do anything close range. Oh no, the crossfire from down long. Push around the corner with the shotgun. All Gamers yet again withholding with such a good defense. Solo, oh my god, make it a triple. Maybe the 4th coming along soon as well. Direction in a 1v3 yet again. 9 seconds. Solo with the quad at the end of this round, and he will bring it back. Momentum is stopped, and oh my god, Tiaki, they were fooled into wasting time.
And EDG, even on top of that, decide to call a tactical timeout. It's a little bit early than what we're expecting from these teams, but an immediate call. They need to have a chat and get back into the fold. 2-round loss. That was enough for Nando. He said, absolutely not. We need to reset, get back into the game. All Gamers are starting to become the demons that we saw them yesterday. They're starting to reintroduce themselves into the map and starting really to throw EDG into a little bit of a mess at this stage. That shotgun, every single time we see Solo Mid in play, he uses that shotgun and just decimates the opposition team. It's such a scary outlook.
And he's a scary individual with that shotgun, man. He played in one position only, and none of them could stop him. Of course, he had the support from his teammate, who then eventually killed the Blackbeard, but that was absolutely perfect. Like, you could not write a better defense. The fact, right, that Moonlight was upstairs, standing in that corner and just looking at the time. He didn't need to do anything, right? It was EDG who had to do something, and Carpe, he fell into the bait. He fell into the trap so easily. It was 30 seconds. My man is still waiting for Moonlight to peek around that corner, and he didn't. I mean, that is patience and discipline. And at the end, it was just Solo who just desecrated him. Like, honestly, just killed everyone.
Yeah, well, he killed most, and then he ended up stealing one of the kills, one of the downs as well, just to pad his stats just a little bit. But for the side of EDG. This is where we need to start seeing a little bit of an answer. It is now, surprisingly, when we got into the half for AG, it was a 4-round differential. That's 4 times you can make the mistake. It's now down to 2. They've locked out primary. They've locked out secondary. This is the site where something needs to change for EDG. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble on their end. All gamers, though, are finally entering the match. All guns blazing. And of course, the engine now finally turning. That's going to be on July, seeing a bit of information, knowing that that player is rotating back down towards the stairs. Nade being cooked out. It is going to send that player off of that position, and it will be on July to find the kill. This is looking better from EDG.
All Dark Tactical Tower might have done everything that they need. They got 2 kills. MC, and on top of that, Moonlight, both are gone. But let's be honest, here, still the 2 really strong counter operators, right? Solo, and on top of that, Yaz. Yaz, again, a personality who can really just get in with those clutches, and Solo with that shotgun is so deadly. I wouldn't count all gamers out here. I mean, just look at this. Oh, no! Oh my god, the siege timing!
What an effect. Unfortunate for Solo mid. Diffuser's going to begin to go down. Carpe trying to get that as early as possible. Now we've got 45 seconds on the board. Attack needing to be made by all gamers, and there's really no position on their setup. Solo mid's going to be dropped down underneath. On July manages to find the player, knock him down, but he will die as a result. Drops beginning to come up and through. Information provided as Solo mid will be picked up. Yaz has found one, but this timer is ticking down quite quickly. Railgun finds another. This is doable. There is attempt, and it's going to be opened up, but Diffuser's still going. He's got it.
He's done it. The Defuse pros are never fake. All gamers, they absolutely do it again in the last very itsy bit of second of hope. An unbelievable play, Tiaki.
Well, EDG, it looks like defensive side is your favored. And of course, for AG, I mean, that's exactly what you'd expect from them. They're coming back. We're not out of the game just yet. Love to see it. But in retrospect, for that round, that should have been an EDG win.
Yeah,
they had Diffuser
absolutely
down. It was a 5v3, just positions needing to be locked. And at the very end there, put one player on the Diffuser and just sent out the rest of the players. Go and find kills, or just go and distract them while we get this defuse completed. Just caused way too many problems. And I mean, look, straight off here, going over the highlights on July, that was a big pickup. Moonlight just out of position. Look how close Solo mid is to getting picked up there. If Railgun did not confirm those 2 kills, that could have been EDG's round, but AG managed to secure it. And EDG are now heavily on the back foot.
Maybe also something that wasn't quite spotted out, what I've just seen in the replay. The way Yaz went down wasn't by the typical way you would expect it, but he knew somebody was on the stairs, so he drops down amidst of the chaos while the defuse is going on, maybe even potentially hoping that he can tank some bullets or just be a body block, and he does exactly so, right? And on top of that, he then gets a kill. So not only Yaz did he do the most unthinkable in his position, but he's gotten away with a kill and was also a round-defining member in that 3v3, because he got a kill upstairs, making it from a 4v3, a 3v3, and then another kill on the stairs. So he's actually contributed by doing the most outrageous play. He's gotten away with it. I mean, listen, ADG, they should have not lost that. It was a great tactical timeout. Now that tactical timeout is gone, and they still need 1 round for the match point and 2 for the victory on the first map.
Well, now we're starting to see a little bit of concern coming in from EDG. Down to a 1-round differential. Look, it's a bad position to be in for anyone, but for this team, it's been a backhanded situation for them. And now they're needing to find some sort of way through. Ops control given over to EDG. Masks open up, available to get that plant up and through, and that's going to be through the help of Bottom Love. He will send a sends right up and through just to cover his pathway as they make a bit of movement in towards Mezzanine, but that's also covered. The first player that needs to be removed is Yaz out of that position. Carpe says, I'm done with this game, and starts to move right up and forward, finds one, but it's an immediate counter pick. MC finds 2 beautiful shots, and that's really, really bad for EDG.
Bringing back the round immediately to the favors of all gamers. MC, he's done it again. But this time, look who was taken out. It was Solo, a player who's already once did around defining victories. But look at the time, 45 seconds left. EDG, they have the breach open. They have everything what they need in their pocket, but now they gotta go down with that plant. But unfortunately, all these fireballs... Oh, look at that. That's a full barbecue going on there.
Through the fire and the flames, Dianic. They're going to need to push straight up and through, and they will do so, but they start going through and burning again. Bottom line is just absolutely being cooked. Back to a 2v2 situation. 15 seconds remaining on the board. It's the information provided. Direction needing to make his way upstairs. I think Yaz has been able to hear him. Yes, he has. Manages to drop one. There is only one member remaining, but he's going to say, I'm getting out of dodge, and manages to survive. AG, we're in a 5-1 situation. That should have said it all. EDG should have been able to go over, finish this up nice and clean, 7-3, move on to the second set over on Nighthaven Labs. But AG get on the defensive side, and they run through this game.
They keep on running up the numbers step by step. It didn't end there, but it is going to continue. He did try to go here for a plan. At least he got the kill who was trying to push him. He was so much trying to really get it down. But Yaz, I mean, he gets 2 kills and gets away with it here again. Round-defining play by Yaz. And I keep telling you guys this. Keep an eye on this player. Yes, there's a few rounds where he might not do really big plays, but here again, 2 kills does not seem... Oh, it's not a 5 kill, it's not an ace, it's not a quad kill, but it's 2 round-defining kills in that moment, which makes this player so unbelievably dangerous, and he keeps getting away with it, right? And EDG, both these teams, in 1 round, they've lost their flair. I don't know, Tiaki, if 5-1 to 5v5, how did this happen?
Yeah, look, it's a beautiful situation from both sides. EDG, 5-1, in control, running it straight up and through. AG moving over to the defensive side and immediately having the control that they need to kind of finish up the game as quickly as they possibly can. I mean, look, AG at this stage are starting to show up as the better team. The reason why coordination seems to be on point now as the game has continued on, and EDG are just starting to show cracks in their attacking power, in their defensive power as well. Nighthaven Labs is going to be a very big telltale map of whether or not, one, we go to a third, or is EDG going to be able to maintain themselves all the way into the third map, or on the first, or on the second. It just comes down to the playstyles that we kind of need to see from them. And I mean, look, so many things are missing as of current. Nitrocell up and available for Moonlight. And this may find the perfect kill. Or not.
Not quite yet. Listen, I had some hope there as well, right? That was a very well placed, but unfortunately it wasn't as successful. But second half of this round is now starting. Whoever wins this round is going to have the match point, the first chance to even get a series point here as well. It is a best of 3, so the first map does matter a lot. Solo, yet again on these blue stairs. I mean, what is more there to say? Smoke canisters, 2 Jaeger on top of that, and he just keeps getting away with it. Oh my god! A minute is left and we've lost the Monty and the Thatcher. At least Direction makes a little bit up for it and gets the kill on solo, but they've lost 2 members and they've lost the Montagne, the one operator they need for this push.
Mentalist, where are we going? Diffuser as well manages to get picked up, and immediately Solo Mid has Diffuser control. Now everyone has to go and fight him to get that Diffuser picked up, and they didn't even pick it up. Direction does not have the Diffuser on him, so we're going to go in to a round of shooting. Everyone will need to manage the timer well. Bottom Love will pick up the Diffuser, but already this is starting to show a lot of cracks in their attack. No execution really coming into the play. They've got yokai drones that have pinged out every single player's location on the side of EDG. Wide swing to come through. Moonlight says absolutely not. Bottom Love picked up nice and easy. And Direction is the only member remaining, seeming as the only member that has the direction of EDG. But it's not going to be found. And AG managed to put themselves up in match point position. I don't think I was going to ever say that at this stage.
I did not believe that we're going to find ourselves in a match point situation for the side of all gamers and EDG not being able to at least get a singular round on attack. Of course, they still have a chance. They can make this and bring this to the overtime in this first map in the grand finale in CNL Kickoff. I mean, listen, you know what I'm missing here a little bit from EDG? We've been watching the execute every single round. They had a great execute after the tactical time once the coach came in, stepped up his game, and really told everybody what to do. Where is the 1v3? Go in. We see Carpet doing something simultaneously, waiting for a cue for another thing to happen on the other side. But it should be, guys, we are in a 3v4. We need to push. We have 15 seconds. Step up your game. And that's not happening. They're just doing their own stuff, one by one.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see exhaustion coming into play. That's for sure. There is a lot of mistakes that are currently being made on the side of EDG. That was a massive, massive one in that round. We can't take Diffuser, get the player that has Diffuser caught, and then have to essentially run in players to counteract that player that was on the stairs. It's just not how you work around that site. And unfortunately for the side of EDG, they will find themselves out of the OT position at this stage. On July is now the one that's going to be jumping onto that Montaigne. MC taking a little bit, taking a little bit of information there. His position is going to be quite well known as control begins to be taken upstairs. And this is where things will get a little bit interesting. So far, the enforcement or harassment is from the side of AG.
A few more rotations are being made. We can see already some have already claimed their position. Direction is down below. Luckily, from the side of all the gamers, they've decided to completely fall back to the side. The bomb site is again the tertiary side. So let's not forget, last time what happened here, it was the post-plant defuse in the most midst of the chaos that happened. CDG could walk away with a kill, with a victory here. But it all really comes down here again to every single step that they're doing. And already they've lost one of their members on July, killed by the smoke.
How? How do we lose the Montaigne once again? I'm confused. On July's position should have been locked down. He has the ability to move away from a lot of that area. And he just manages to get absolutely smoked out. I was watching that slowly tick down and thinking, where is he? What is he getting damaged by? There's Thorn in there. There is smoke, but where is this damage coming from? Solo Mid is going to take a decent chunk of damage. However, Carpe going to take a little bit back as well. So advantage still over to AG. And the utility still up and available to be used. So keep it barricades. can be positioned for this potential push to come in. That's the last one being sent out now. Smoke grenades also being sent out with a potential push location, direction, needing to find a potential way in, but at the same time, it's only 20 seconds on the clock. This is getting extremely close. Potential push on the outside. It's a wide swing, but it's going to be Moonlight who gets caught out. He's done the damage, though, that is necessary. MC is stuck by himself. Yaz will be able to get the kill. 8 seconds left on the board. Direction starts to make the potential push, but again, it's controlled by EDG. Railgun, the last member, manages to find one, finds two. It stays in a 1v1 scenario. One player upstairs, the second on that bottom floor, making his way up to the top side. Cover to be made. He's got all of the holes that he needs to stop this potential push from coming through. Bottom Love is in a perfect position. He's got the shotgun in hand. He knows that this player is slowly moving towards him, but the player's spotted. AG managed to win map number 1. If he can get to the diffuser in time.
No.
7, 6 is
Wait.
their time. Has he done it?
No, he hasn't! Oh my god, he hasn't! He's went on in a millisecond too late! Tiaki, a little bit too happy there. You thought he's got away with it, but he didn't. He didn't get away with it. In the last second, a millisecond too late, he gets on the defuse. The devastation right now is written all over Tiaki's face, and I'm pretty sure of over so many others. But unfortunately, it was a millisecond too late.
Look, they can have that round. I mean, we got one specially off. They can have that round. I'll give it to them.
I mean, this was absolutely crazy. I mean, just look at this. How can we fumble a 1v3 into a 1v1 into it needing to be the last very second on the diffuser to be the factor? I mean, that was absolutely crazy. It just seems like they want to give us the content here. And unfortunately for EDG, they are on the attacking side. Because all gamers picked the map, they decided the first side, and in the overtime, all gamers, of course, take their own pick, and they decided the defense. So if EDG wants to win here, they're going to have to do it on the attack. They have to at least win either 2 or 1 attack.
I'm going to lose my voice by the end of this. Let's go. I'm loving it. Loving it. EDG. Yeah, look, they managed to get that round by the skin of their teeth. Literally. There wasn't any other way to look at it. Everything else was AG's control, and it was milliseconds. Literally milliseconds in between their ability to lock down the site and their ability to play it out. So the other thing as well is now we're starting to see the site control from AG going into OT. So they've got the top floor is going to be their first pick. Obviously, the bottom floor could be their second and will most likely be as primary and secondary sides. But straight off the bat, few changes coming through. Aurora entering into the game. And Bottom Love immediately being able to cover that off. So that's a great start from EDG. They've got a lot of control in their current positions. It's just about making sure that they can get themselves into the actual lobby.
Now, of course, a lot of tensions also is going to build up, right? Because we are in the overtime. We've just basically got around because of the defuse timer. EDG, they really need to get a grip of themselves here on the attacking side. They've done it for 1 round, but that means both of these 2 teams have won 5 defensive rounds in 1 singular attack. And that is not a great stat considering you're on the overtime attacking sides. So if this goes 15 rounds, EDG is going to have to win it on the attacking side. And that is already not a great statistic to be in.
Well, Nitrocell already prepped up by MC. Looks like he wants to throw up far. Maybe find the Blackbeard. I shouldn't say Blackbeard. Actually, it is a Blitz down the hallway. A lot of control already being given over to AG. Or correction to EDG, and EDG will start it off. Carpe finds the first, the man that's been doing a lot of heavy lifting for his team. On July will find the second as well. This is a good start from EDG. Diffuser being planted down, but there's solo mid again. He's got a shotgun in hand, and he does the damage. Finds two, brings the game back, or correction, sorry, the round back to a highly winnable state. Drones will begin to come through. There's still 20 seconds left on the board. Back and forth. Manages to get two. It's direction against solo mid. And he manages to do it. How have AG won that?
It's again an unwinnable position from the side of all gamers, and yet they bring it back somehow. It all went down to a 1v1 solo with the first two kills, making it instead of a 5v3. A 3v3 scenario, and then it was the other two kills coming in immediately. It all happened at the same time. But here again, another name that is completely standing out. It's just Railgun. Last round in a 1v3, nearly winning the impossible. And now yet again, a 3v3, he gets the last two kills to make it to a 1v1 in a position he should have never survived this long. I mean, EDG, great start, but yet again, execution is where the biggest weakness lies. The exact same to the yesterday. It keeps on continuing. Look at this scenario.
Ow.
He should have not gotten two kills there.
No way. The Tachanka should not have survived. He should have been removed off the board early. And it just was a complete and utter massacre from AG. Now, take into consideration, EDG, they were able to win one round on the attack. And it was that diffuser round. AG did get one round on attack as well. And it was I think it was just a diffuser placed down to straight kills. So in terms of confidence here, when looking at the attacking sides, my back is with AG on this one, even though it has been most of the game. But my back is with AG on this one. The confidence that's there is exactly what we need to see from them going into the attacking side. EDG on the opposite hand. Oh, that's a little bit of an interesting play. Oh, Carpe!
Oh. He wanted a little bit too much there, it seems like. That mirror trick only works when it is a firm, and unfortunately not quite when there is an ace. He did still try his best. This is already not the greatest start for the side of all gamers, and it does seem like both of these two teams, they have a lot of struggles on the attacking layer. And it is going to be very interesting to see if this is going to continue on the second map, or if this is just a full-on layer mythical problem here for both of the teams. They really do struggle on attack, and it hurts seeing. I'm not gonna lie to you, it really hurts.
Yeah, look, it's about defense and attack. You need to do well on both. And at the moment, we've seen defense, not so much attack. So it does come down to the way that they essentially want to approach a lot of these sites. I think doing the same push executed time and time again seems to be a big telltale problem for a lot of these teams. But at the same time, clearances being made. They've opened up a potential direction, potential pathway in towards the site. And they've got the clearances to be found. Of course, you got to remember as well, Bottom Love is the main problem on his end. He can be pushed off from that position, but the fire will always be there. Flashbangs go through, diffuser's going to be planted, or at least placed down as one kill's gonna come in. Moonlight finds a second. Carpe nitro cells, but it's down to a 2-on-2. Shotguns won't be able to confirm Carpe, but we're back to a 1-on-1. It's Railgun, and of course direction. The two to keep it up and going. Diffuser is being taken. It's almost going to go down. He gets it, and EDG will push us to a full map 1.
It does seem like both of these two teams want a shot at their pros because, I mean, you know it, pros never fake. And how have they gone away twice with this? One from the side of All Gamers, no, one from the side of EDG. He was too far to really defend, and he really just said, man, if you're gonna walk away, I'm not gonna challenge you. I'm gonna go for the defuse, and that's what he did. I mean, the fact that Carpe... Here again, a player, he does a lot of kills over the rounds, but here he had a round-defining kill. He had 3 kills back to back to back in order to bring EDG onto the track. It is 15 rounds on the first map of this grand finale, and EDG will have to make it a attack victory if they want to take against their previous opponent. At least the first map, because yesterday it was All Gamers winning against them 2-0, and now... it's only the first map and already on 15 rounds. I mean, of course, statistics, not great for the side of EDG. Fantastic for All Gamers. But can they actually do it? Because we all remember what happened here last time.
Okay, this is where things are a little bit confusing to me. We have the option, or AG, correction, has the option to go to that bottom floor site. It's available, it's open. The confidence isn't there for it. Instead, they're positioning themselves up for that first floor attack with the extension into level 2. I'm not sure why that decision's been made, especially with how confident they were on that bottom floor and how shaky it was on that tertiary. But for the most part, look, EDG, they've been able to secure 7 rounds. AG have been able to secure 7 as well. There is 2 minutes and 30 seconds left inside of this game. We need to have one determined winner, and you got to give it to Direction and Carpe. Look at how many kills they've been able to put up on the board on a consistent basis, saving a lot of their teammates. But on July as well needs to be counted, of course. So, bit of preparation coming in as they begin to attack the second floor.
The second floor, maybe here's the fact that they can just replay it and have a possibility to fall back right here. It doesn't initiate a lot of plays from Solomon. It doesn't initiate a lot of these cheeky plays that All Gamers have been doing quite a lot. And, I mean, remember last time, EDG, they had that failure moment, and maybe that's what they're playing on, right? Knowing that EDG, they already were robbed of a victory. They might do it again, right? So we can now play against it. Even if they don't do it, we will be superior. So there's maybe a lot of fury going in. And at the end of the day, Tiaki, I completely agree with you. I would say the basement is better, but it's all about confidence. If you feel more confident playing on the tertiary side, then go play the tertiary side. Your chances of winning that is going to be also much more higher. But there you go, the Sands gadgets are going out, not quite yet directly a push. Of course, Soul is up above, would see that diffuser go down just in case, but look at it, all the utilities being used, but the diffuser was just dropped inside to bait everything out. That is perfectly played yet again.
Well, EDG answering it correctly. Opposite ends on each side. All pieces of utility basically used at this point in time. Of course, we've got a smoke grenade and a thorn trap as well. But look, it's just constant baits out. They want to get as much of that utility taken off the board. The Solus is there. Should be used for cover up above. But information game is all it comes down to. Diffuser once again picked up. Potential plant point up and available. But again, it's just so many positions trying to get cover. The information should be there to get that plant down, but it's just a slow play. A constant slow play. No cover provided on this player moving in towards the site. Instead, it's the Montaigne down. That's a big misplay. Kills coming across the board for AG, but that might be it. 2v5 scenario. No time left on the board. And AG managed to secure map 1, their map pick.
AG immediately getting themselves that layer victory. And I would say, guys, before you guys hear the wonderful analytics from our analysts on the desk, we're going to send you guys to a quick little break. Be right back.
Alrighty, and with grand final map number 1 all done and dusted, the heat kind of rises up, but is it a full heat or is it something completely, well, a bit of a momentum changer? We'll get to now dissect what happened really on map number 1 between an absolutely emotional whiplash that was half number 1, half number 2. Travi and Puffo Bob still with me here for the analyst desk, and boys, look, I'm just about as lost as to what's happened as I think EDG were lost as well, because I mean we had such a phenomenal beginning to it all, then the absolute comeback, and then the final round, which yeah, look, I'm equally just about as baffled to the point where I even had to take off my suit jacket for this one.
Yeah, it was a hot one. It was a blaster of a game, and I think you're right on the mark there, Cthulhu. EDG, I think they're going to be left scratching their heads a little bit. They're 5-1 up at a given point in time. They should have closed that one out, and then it just went to... I don't even know how to describe that game, to be honest with you. Just chaos ensued, but what more do we expect from the CNL?
Suppose, yeah, that's when the CNL really does deliver a really Puffo. Talk to me through the second half, because well we got to bear witness. Sort of first half they were very, very confident. The defense was all nice and shiny and sparkly. Attack, did EDG forget how to attack, or did we all of a sudden suffer of, like, you know, just it's the, you know how usually on the electronics the microwave just turns on and it's just all fries? Did it fry the players as well?
I think the players were a bit fried, I'll be completely honest. I think on both ends of their attack, I think this was just a mayhem of defense throughout the entirety of this match. And once we went on to that second half, we already thought, all right, EDG, we're going to take this. It's 5-1. Surely they can win 2 out of the following 6 rounds, right?
Surely.
Right? No, it didn't happen. I mean, over and over, we had opening kills in the favor of AG. It was Monty players going in alone and dying with a full metal plate in front of their faces. Then quad clutches by Solo MT, who was, in my opinion, the MVP of that match. In general, though, I mean, AG just did... Both these teams did beautiful on their defense. I'm sad to say I cannot say the same for their defensive.
Yeah, things defensively were a little bit how's it going, really, when going into all of it. But well, let's not maybe sit for too long on the map number 1, because maybe just like EDG, they would want to forget this as a horrendous nightmare. But otherwise, we get to also quickly touch up. We got our predictions in the Twitch chat. Who will win map number 2, Nighthaven Labs? EDG versus All Gamers, 72 to EDG, 28 to All Gamers. Do we agree with that?
I don't know.
One.
I mean,
is chat on copium?
Travi, we did just go to the big 50, and it was like 90% for AG. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think, listen, chat knows ball. What can I say? Yesterday, me and chat, we were back in Wolves, and look at that, it worked out quite well for us yesterday. So, chat knows ball. I'm a believer in chat. I fully believe EDG had that within the palm of their hands, and considering the turnaround in 24 hours, guys. Like, yesterday they got 7 freed on this map. Now they bring it all the way to 15 in the max OT and a nail biter. There's a good possibility, I've got a feeling there, that they're going to be able to bring something back in towards this one, looking into their pick of map 2.
Okay, alrighty. Well, because, yeah, I'm personally, I would say at this point, let AG at this point. All gamers look very promising here. Let's also admit to that, because that comeback is a once in a blue moon that we do get to witness that. And the fact that they managed to just lock it all in, mind you, again, still over time nonetheless, they really managed to, you know, bring it all back. And I mean, let's also touch up on the sheer amount of energy that was coming from them the moment they started scoring those points. You know, the moment we hit into the second half, is just all high energy, round in, round out, ready to go. The question being here is, after that first half, are we back to the theory that mental is the saving strats for Salt Lake? Or do we actually, is it just, EDG decides, time to throw? Things are going too smoothly here.
I don't know. That's a good question, because the thing is, okay, while they both have qualified for Salt Lake, hiding strategies would not be the ideal situations because, firstly, you get more money if you're first place. Secondly, you skip phase 1 and get more SI points. So, if I were in their position, I wouldn't want to hide strategies because up until Salt Lake, they'll still have some time to improve upon those so-called strategies. So in this current moment, time, and era, I don't believe hiding strategies would be the go-to, but I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, look, very much so on point. We do get a showcase of our MVP for map number 1, solo mid of all gamers. The man you've highlighted as well multiple times that he has been able to turn the tide pretty convincingly throughout a good chunk of rounds. Travi, talk to me about the sheer abundance of that impact that solo mid had.
Yeah, Salamid inside of that one had a really lights out performance. It's not necessarily the numbers of kills. There were flashier people in terms of numbers inside of that lobby. The big thing for me there is going to be the nature, the impact of those kills, right? When there's certain people in a lead, in the game, in a lobby that you're going to want to be targeting more because there's more values on that pick. Sure, you take down a Zofia, it's if but whatever. If you get a hard breach before they're able to use their hard breach charges, that's a massive impact kill. That almost feels like 2 because it means the rest of the attackers that do remain are going to be impacted by the loss of that operator. So that's why I think Solomid was such a valuable one and been given the MVP award inside of that map, just because of the nature of the kills, the impact that those particular frags were having, because it's quality, not quantity.
Quantity, alrighty. Well, speaking of the quality, well, we'll get to start slowly prepping for the map number 2, Nighthaven Labs. The storylines are set here, isn't it, gents? It's on one end, EDG had a massive whiplash. Can they recover? On the other side, AG are feeling pretty strong. Well, for the time being, feeling pretty strong. I would say it's Dianic and Tiaki coming in with map number 2.
Yes, hello everyone. It's good to be back. Of course, map number 2 going over to Nighthaven Labs. We're going over to Singapore for a little bit, and of course, AG versus EDG. I mean, what a match what that was. Dianic, we got to see some amazing plays by both teams.
Listen, it was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, it was on layer, but thank God the next step is Nighthaven Labs.
Yeah. We're finally off layer.
Yeah, got that, man. Like,
boo.
Blame Cthulhu. Cthulhu's got his little, I don't know if you've seen, he's got his little script book with him today, and he's written it in the script. Make Tiaki and Dianic cast 15 rounds of lair out of spite. So blame Cthulhu for that one.
Blame Cthulhu on that one. Yeah, look, actually, before we do actually continue with the blame train as well, I'll quickly as well grab from everyone quick predictions as well, just before we get into this. I'll get started with you, Poffo.
Quick predictions. I'll say 7-5 EDG.
Okay, Trevi.
7-4 EDG.
Yaki.
Nah, 7-2 AG all the way.
Get out of here!
Who is this guy? Alrighty,
Dianic.
listen, I'm gonna stay loyal. I'm gonna say 8-6 EDG.
6 EDG. Well, there we go.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, my friends, take it away for the Nighthaven, and we'll see if maybe there is a chance for a bit of a comeback on EDG side, or if all gamers slam the pedal to the metal all the way.
Well, that's just it. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for some Nighthaven Labs. After a bit of problems on layer, all gamers were able to secure it out, going to the full match set. And that made oh, look, it was a little bit difficult, to be honest with you, as we would expect from games like that. But again, coming in to Nighthaven, it is EDG's pick, meaning that all gamers get to pick which side they're going to start off on. And you'd have to expect they were going to go defense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, after Leia, I better be seeing a defender start on Nighthaven Labs from All Gamers, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they would do the attack just out of spite and to prove. And look at these social votes, 18 to 82. That is a quiet here again, a dominating side for All Gamers. And I mean, last round, last map, they had to pull up a big of a fight in order to even win that one. And here again, durability, I think, is going to be a big factor here in this match. And they're starting on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, kicking it straight off on the defense makes a lot of sense for AG, right? You lock down a lot of the rounds, you get control of that second floor, you get control of the basement side, and then you push straight in to the tertiary site, which, to be honest, with Nighthaven Labs, all of the sites are really, really defendable. None of them are really a struggle in terms of their position. Every single one you can quite easily defend. But coming into the ban sets, the only ban in there that is a little bit out there from the side of AG is the Capitao.
Would you say so? Would you really say so? I could give you a lot of reasons why. First of all, he's maybe looking to the aura farming. No, I'm joking. Anyway, the reason why I would put him on is look at the basement floor, look at the top floor, look at even the tertiary side. All of these sides acquire somewhat of a smoke or ability to take away vision and take room very quickly. Especially on the basement floor, you utilize smokes and firebolts quite often to just get rid of the middle area or even on the top floor, right? So there's so many reasons how Capitao could be very useful here and very damaging to the defending side. And considering that he also brings smokes which then can be utilized with glass, here again you can just spiral down in this issue. It just makes Warden a much more powerful operator now, considering that he can stay in these positions, just like close on electrical door. We've seen this map yesterday, and that position was one of the power positions for All Gamers, which EG couldn't clear because they didn't have the utility for it. So take him away, and that means they can keep on playing that. They're going to have to use nades. And are they going to bring them? Are they going to utilize them early on? See, there's a lot of utility mindset playing into this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you consider the past of EDG and All Gamers going into Nighthaven Labs. I mean, All Gamers did end up going up against Wolves at one point on this map. They won that quite cleanly, 7-2. EDG on the opposite side have played it once again, and I feel sorry for Wolves in this case. Earlier in the evening, they got 7-3 on Nighthaven Labs and were able to secure it quite cleanly in their position. 7-1 up against My Queen as well. And then, yeah, look, I mean, both teams would have expected these teams to go to Nighthaven Labs. Everyone in the CNL feels very comfortable locking in this map. And it makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider the trials and how much they've been run through and how often the series has really been kind of kicking it off at this stage.
Already we can see a lot of space has been taken. EDG doing a great step as well right now. When it comes to door connector, side connector breach is open. The breach towards main side has also been open towards pillar. Electrical still needs to be taken control of. IT as well, they're at a great pace right now. I mean, they've so much already neutralized with those reinforcements and they can utilize them quite well right now.
Yeah, look, IT wall already opened up. Pressure on the opposite side in towards connector and electrical, causing quite a few potential problems. But the first point of clearance will need to be that player in towards electrical. Moonlight sends his regards to Bottom Love and removes him off the board. That is your Nomad taken down. Nades up and available as Carpe still continuing on the heater that he was having in the last game. Manages to find the smoke. That's the anchor site player in totality. Solo mid now. We've seen how powerful he can be with this shotgun in hand. 25 seconds remaining on the board. This play is going to need to be made very soon, but that's a Ying trying to put a bit of pressure. Flashbangs begin to go through. Where's this rotation going to come out? It's going to be a jump in towards servers again. with this clash. Up and available causes so many problems, but it'll be dropped down. Kills coming onto the board. Moonlight finds 2. It's Yas against On July. The information is there for Yas, but the timer runs out on both of them. We can't be doing this again, Dianic.
It happens here again, like history repeats itself, but unfortunately, this time, as you like to say, in the 6th friend of the defense, the time took a place yet again. So many of these rounds, even on layer now, even coming into Nighthaven Labs, are being decided because of that time ticking down. And we were just talking about it, and that's the reason why Solo is playing in that position. No Capital to clear him out, and he is the main operator to really get rid of said position. Of course, he was taken out later on when there was a push from right behind him, which he couldn't quite fight against. But the Incandelas won't do any good. Smokes won't do any good. Nades, he can just move out of it. It's such a difficult spot to be in, and such a power position. And there's so many more on this map, especially on this basement here as well. But they're going to be playing this vertical as well. So from the side of EDG, they got to be quick on this clear, because otherwise they're going to go back in the same loop again. They're going to execute within the last 15 seconds. It's going to get close, and then they're going to lose. It's starting just like Lair here a little bit.
We need to stop giving this man a shotgun. I think that's the main end point. Stop giving Solo Mid a shotgun. He does wonders with that weapon. And just a quick thing overall with the CNL, the Capital actually has an 11.8% ban rate. He is the 7th operator with the highest ban rate. So it makes quite a lot of sense in retrospect to be taking him off the board, especially if you know that there are powerful players. This is quite interesting. A little bit of a push onto that first floor. Of course, Animus being opened up. It is up and available for players to go straight in and through. That is a beautiful Nitro Cell going up above in towards the IT side, but it won't confirm any kills just yet. And for AG, they're kind of chilling right now.
And I'm waiting a little bit and also getting into their positions. Of course, the first few initiating are coming in. MC against Direction towards the kitchen side. They're trying to take space here, but unfortunately Direction does not quite get his gadget onto the opponent. He's a little bit too far. He's just outside of the green area for him to be pinged. But look how much information this is. In EDG, they don't quite seem to quite be able to utilize that information into kills, nor even a clear. They're just playing in their positions, but I don't see the push coming in.
No direct push at this current stage in time. A quick run across from Direction, not looking to get shot just yet, but it doesn't matter because Railgun fires off one bullet and manages to find the kill on July. That's the Thermite taken down. A lot of utility already being placed down on the board. So it's not exactly the biggest loss, but it is quite a susceptible position. The Solid Snake is still on the roam. Solution Radar Mark III trying to find a bit of information, but Solo Mid will find the potential kill on the bottom side. That's Diffuser. Drop down all the information that they need. It's going to need to be Carpe or Direction to find their way in towards this site. He's got a long angle, spotting the player all the way down, but at this stage, it's a shot back for MC. And Direction leaves his direction. Carpe, all by himself, will get cleaned up as well. AG looking a lot more comfortable on this map.
Absolutely. I mean, not only coming of a victory, but starting them immediately into the defense. Let's not forget, this is the map pick from EDG. They've played the exact same 2 maps like yesterday. It was Leia. It was Nighthaven Labs, and I believe the last one was Consulate as a decider. Today, of course, maps are a little bit different, but here again, we're starting with Leia, we're starting with Nighthaven Labs. It's all the same rundown, and unfortunately, old gamers, they just rinse and repeat. EDG, they looked really good on Leia, but right now, it's yet again the exact same thing, losing members early on. That clearance it didn't seem for me to have a clear plan what they want to do. What is the actual thing they want to do right now? I get it. Maybe cut off some rotations, put a player here, put a player here. But if you put all your players to play the rotations game, you're not going to have enough force to push through with one direction. And then to even let those players walk into the cross. You see what I did there?
Damn, I was trying to use those puns as well.
Oh, I was too quick, man.
I was waiting on it. But look, at this stage, that's exactly it. There wasn't a direction that was really defined from ADG. They had some sort of position to move through the map, but second that thermite went down, there was nothing really that they did in terms of finding answers, finding potential execution points. Every single play that they made was just somewhere else on the map. And somehow, immediately, Mentalist, he's dropped down on almost no HP. The thermite gets picked up nice and early, so he'll still be alive with 20 HP remaining. But for the rest of AG, they're just relaxing at this stage. This looks terrifying for the side of EDG. And direction bottom love, Carpe on July. Still looking to find a potential execute point. But again, this clearance just looks straight across, maybe with a bit of push towards the extension.
Trying to take multiple areas, of course. Here we saw direction from down below. Then, of course, Mentalist opening up the breaches. It is the tertiary side, so this is the most likelihood to get at least one attack belt beneath their belt. It's a good start because Solo has been removed. The player with the MVP card of the last map is at least gone, but all of these members, I mean, look at this Mentalist, Direction, Carpin, even our own July, are all taking so much damage, even causing for a death, that the numbers at now here again need to be played very careful, because if you lose one more, then you may find yourself at a big disadvantage. Two players taking a huge damage from all gamers, but it is not enough for a kill yet. 3 players, a singular bullet is enough. The verticality is not secured. It cannot be pushing through, and Carpe will be the difference maker. At least one, every single one of these players, 1 or 2 bullets and they're gone, and you have 2 weapons which deal a ton of damage, so this might be possible.
Look, it is absolutely up and available. The Twitch, obviously, with that DMR, can just one-shot basically all of these players. Maybe not Railgun, but Carpe will find the first answer. It's MC to be the next. He's got the info that he needs on the player's position. MC can just run away. The timer slowly ticking down. Remember, the diffuser is the name of the game. And where is the diffuser? Well, it's downstairs in towards the site. A player needs to make a way onto that position and do it quickly. Carpe is able to find one, so we're back into the same position that we were earlier. Diffuser still not picked up at this stage. Picked up now by Direction. The information will be there, but Carpe will clean it up on the tertiary site.
EDG getting the first attacking round within the first 3 rounds, and I mean, this is already looking a lot better than Lair. Listen, it didn't take 5 rounds for 1 attack. It only took 2, so we see some upscaling here, but that was also really well nice played down. There was team play, there was coordination, there was intel giving, right? They really took everything that they had, displayed it on the map, and at the end they were fortunate enough to have the Solid Snake, who gave the information where both of these 2 players are, immediately acting upon getting a kill, and then playing together, holding the rotation while the other one grabs the diffuser, goes in for a plant if needed. So, of course, the first start was a little bit rocky, got me a little bit scared, but they got the victory because at the end, it was pure team play, coordination, and that's what I need to see from EDG a lot more. From the side from all gamers, they've decided to go back up to the top 4 side, which is, I mean, has the best defender-sided win rate. Do you like the top floor? Or are you a basement?
Look, I'm a fan of sites that are a little bit more open. I don't like stuff that's kind of crammed together because it just creates a set of one-directional pushes, which, I mean, come on. In every single site, you kind of want as much freedom, much creativity as you can possibly have. So I don't like the top 4 site. I will say it's very Anchorage. It's kind of like what's another example? Canal. On Canal, that top floor site. It is
Canal is the map that goes into your mind when you think of that. I would have said Clubhouse top floor. CCTV.
That's
how
well
how do you
open.
go to Canal?
I'm thinking about the map size. Or
Oh,
the site
okay.
size as a general
Okay,
whole. It's
okay.
not big. It's not too big. But that's the first thing that kind of kicks into my mind, that top floor on Canal and how enclosed it is with not many options to be able to do quite a few things, bring back Canal into competitive play. Anyway, so going into this, IT wall is going to be opened up. And of course, connector on the opposite side will be addressed shortly. And that's it all comes down to phantom pressure. If you can put as much pressure as possible on the opposition team, they're going to make a mistake. You capitalize on it, the round's yours. So EDG,
Absolutely.
that's immediately
And just
what they're looking to do.
something also that I want to pick up here, what you said earlier, is when you want to create a lot of pressure, it's going to be a one-sided push. But what we saw last time from EDG, they really tried to make this a one-sided push, but it didn't work out. For this bomb site, you need to have multiple directions going in. For example, you can take connector and electrical, what is of course here the main key point yet again for EDG, but they need somebody coming up Aqua to just cut the whole site into, apply the pressure, make them feel unsafe, because last time that's what they were missing the whole side of all game, is they were just able to play back, play around these corners, pillars, desks. And if you take that away by getting or sending at least one player towards up Aqua stairs, it creates a lot more dynamic, and that's what they need here.
Well, a little bit of movement once again in towards that electrical side, but there is a brick wall on the other end. It is solo mid, who will love to go for a few peeks out of this position. Shotguns in both hands on the side of AG, putting so... I'm terrified of that. When you see two members of AG just set up on two different angles, shotguns in each hand, it is just... It is a terrifying make, and look at how much damage is instantly done. Pushbacks be damned. MC manages to get one. It's a drop down on the second. They've got a Warden still up in play. One player is going to be dropped from the opposite side, and it goes down everywhere. Direction is the last man. They won't be able to pick up the player on the ground. He'll get confirmed by Direction, but with 13 seconds on the board, his first point of movement is going to be right into a Scorpion Evo.
Unfortunate moment right there, playing that cool, and we can just say it here again. Perfect point of using a Capital in that position. The fire needs to be cleared. They need to run up, but they can't. They didn't have any nades. They didn't have Yinkandelas. They didn't have flashbangs enough, because it doesn't matter. There's a Warden. So how do you effectively clear that position out? Well, they tried with a Nomad trap. It kind of failed because there wasn't enough play. There wasn't somebody swinging around the breach, jumping in, trying to help. So there was, of course, the backup who killed the Nomad when she tried to swing in. So there again, problem and solution. EDG, they have a good clear on how they want to do it. It didn't work out. All gamers made it so much more difficult. Next time, you see that's an issue, just go for another side, right? There's so many spots they have to play in. If you make it an IT Aqua Rafters push, that power position is no longer a power position because it's fully wide open. They're not going to play there. But they're presenting themselves already with the issue, and they don't have the utility to clear said position. And that's what's kind of upsetting this whole execute.
A great question at this stage is, we're in a 3-1 scenario. All gamers are up those 3 rounds. When are we going to see a tactical timeout? When is EDG going to pull the trigger to reset themselves and bring themselves back into the fold? Doesn't look like it's going to be this round. Instead, it's a little bit of aggression coming in as Garpe will find 2. That's a beautiful shot from him. He's just going to rip and tear. He's already been doing well, and that's a triple for him. He's just running around the map. Hello, boys. You're all taken off the map. And I'm instantly making his movement through, almost finding the kill onto Railgun. This match, or this round, might be already over. He's gotten himself down to 1. Kills go back and forth, but for the most part, Carpe just runs Rainbow Six Siege right now.
Good morning, all gamers. How are we doing today? I mean, what happened there? Carpet just basically said, I'm going to turn off my brain. The drone is going to give me all the information. By the way, I absolutely loved how the drone kept on giving the information, looking around, trying to give as much. And Carpet just send it in. That's the best. I mean, don't overthink it. Just do it, right? Don't overthink their strat. Don't deep it too much. Just go in, show you're the person with the better gun skill and get the kills. And that's what he did. There was no big theory or strategy behind it. It was just turn your brain off and don't overthink it. Look at this. Perfectly going in. Setup was still going on. So the first kill was very easy. He heard the drop so he knows somebody's on his left. But this is just a death sentence. You should never be standing there. And there we have the drone. See, the drone goes through, gives the information right in the corner, and here again, we drop down perfectly. I mean, don't overthink it. Just do it.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think that is going to be the idea for AG now. They won't be fooled by that again. They'll be in preparation for any sort of potential push like that. Maybe getting a little bit too relaxed, too complacent into the game. And now they've got that wake-up call. Hey, we're still going with this EDG roster. And there's still a lot of rounds to keep going through this game. I mean, we're only 5 rounds in, going on the 6th now. And there's 15 rounds in total. So it makes a lot of sense. But you got to give it to Carpe. Just instantly recognizing, hey, look, there's no need to stress about this situation. We're just going to rush in, put the aggression back onto AG. And it also begs a massive question, Dianic. Do EDG keep up with the aggressive tactics?
Well, I hope they do, because as for right now, aggression is working out for them perfectly. And I mean, there you go. Yet again, one more. He jumps in immediately. Doesn't even overthink it twice. Gotta be careful. You're the Thermite. And he'll be taken out. Oh my god, look at this team play. Perfect solution to a problem being faced. Of course, now unfortunately they've lost their heart breacher, Tiaki, and we all know if you lose your heart breacher so early on, that's gonna hurt, especially for Kitchen.
Look, Kitchen is definitely difficult to take, especially when you consider all the reinforcements both on the northern and southern side of Kitchen. But then again, you've got Ram that can open up so many options upstairs, so much vertical play that it's easy enough to make the rotations through. It's not a terrible thing to lose on July. Yes, it's very bad, but it's not terrible. So continuing with the round as it keeps going, solo mid, he's got that nitro cell in hand, up and available to be used, and he will be the impactful frag here. If he gets taken off the board, that's a lot of information for the side of AG. And a little bit of damage to Railgun.
Just a little bit, not quite enough yet for a kill though, which makes him, puts him in a good position. Carpe, he still does try, uses the smoke to just get across. As you said, this side is still very open, a lot of doors he can use in order to enter. But the entry still needs to happen. Remember on Lair, where they really took their time to get in within the last 15 seconds. 30 seconds, this is the time where the execute should be happening. We keep on seeing EDG overthinking, thinking about stuff, but at this moment of time here again, they gotta go in, because right now, all gamers need to do is just shoot around, hold these doors down, and we'll be rewarded with 2 direction. I guess we'll say no. 11 seconds left, and he's waiting in that corner. Yes, it's a perfect opportunity. It will be denied. Every single one was set up in a perfect spot. And there we go, 3-3 swap, and I think that's something that all gamers was not expecting, or not gonna lie, I was not expecting EDG to turn it up on the attack after seeing a layer.
Well, let's listen into the comms.
能接受。
维稳，心态维稳，对吧 ？Face Secret， 我们等了这么多天，终于打到这张图了，终于能拿出来了，稳一稳。OK， 我们
脚了等会。
说实话，都好久没练那个。
所谓，我们
捞头发，捞头能赢，我发现。
不是，真的这个游戏好奇怪，就是我们对我们5个人做同样事情就能赢， 啊，我们现在要做的就是把拧绳，把我们5个人拧在一条绳上，啊，一条心就完了，没有这么多战术。这我跟你说，现在都是拼的是意志。OK， 我们意志只要比对面强，我们就赢了。这 BO 为什么反而恐？我一次他妈
You can use mirror on IT. We need to be careful. They're gonna use trap like wall den, denary, etc.
只有一套2楼点，可能会放一个 mirror 在切口，然后带陷阱和 warden。
On basement, they always like bring the source room. They can bring a clash as well. Okay.
地下点灯可能会带 flash 或者是轻微的打野。
They're gonna defend a bit blue, but that's it.
会守一下那个雷梯，但是很快就走。
For storage, careful about clash boost lineup. Okay, we can have that.
就是说1楼点灯小心那个心跳跟电盾的情况。
Their order lineup is full trap, but it's always 3-2 formation. Okay, 3 top, 2 first row.
另外一套1楼点就是很多陷阱位，但是他们1楼点永远都是3个2楼，2个1楼。
Let's get this. Okay, work together. Okay.
Well, welcome back as we get through the big little talks from both sides. And of course, Ying, Bandit, makes sense. They're the biggest bans that we've seen throughout the entirety of the CNL, getting them taken off the board quite quickly. EDG managed to secure a 3-3 against AG, and now they're on the defensive side.
Ooh, Capital and Grim, that lead. Grim? Kaid and Grim. God damn, where was I? I was trying to make a point about Capital being open, and somehow I messed up the bans. Anyway, Kaid and Grim are now the second bans coming in, leaving Capital open. Luckily, we'll be seeing that operator immediately, and I hope that MC is doing exactly that we've been talking about the whole time. When there is a player playing close on electrical door, use your fireballs or any other position that is dangerous in a power position to really utilize that operator out of said spot. Now, with this free split, I think something very, how should I say, unexpected happened. We didn't expect EDG to win so many attacking rounds, which sets them up for a great defense. Nighthaven Labs is a 4-2 default swap, so they've already performed better than the average from the side of EDG. And that sets them up for a great, fantastic start into the defensive side. And I mean, we saw on layer defense that they can definitely do defense. They have a 5-1 on layer on defense. I think that already says a lot.
I mean, like, you look at it straight off the bat, right? It is a defender-sided map. This is Nighthaven Labs. It is defender-sided. You have that top floor control, which is so heavily pushed over to one side, and then just every other section it's difficult to find an attacking path. Not to say that AG can't in this, but getting 3-3'd is not where you want to be at this current stage in time. What was so fascinating is just the aggressive play, the aggressive nature that EDG brought in the last 2 rounds. They found potential kills early on, found players that were still setting up their positions, and immediately exploited every single one of those plays. And now we get to see them making their way up into CC Command Center. And of course, the server side as well. Nitro Cell prepped and ready from the man that's dropping double digits in this game and is having a really good start for himself. But Mentalist is the one to keep an eye on. That pulse, the pressure that he can provide is going to be very stressful if he keeps remaining the rest of the round.
This also comes down, has he been found already? Does even all gamers know that there is a pulse? Because I'm pretty sure we all know the second there's a pulse, you're going to hunt him down and get him out. Now that he's been now confirmed, spotted, it is of course a problem that they have to deal with, but it really comes down how they're going to deal with it. And only July is already going to start with a little bit of aggression. Is going to take out Solid Snake out of the round. That's man advantage now for EDG, and they're playing the exact same position, just like all gamers did, close on that electrical door, and it is the pulse giving a lot of information. Oh, July goes huge though! Never mind, I think he will be the brick wall We have the equivalent to solo, but on the side of EDG. Electrical shall not be entered on the watch from on July. He gets a free piece to his name. And oh my god, look at all gamers. They look in shambles. They don't know what to do.
Immediately, it's a beautiful answer coming back from the side of EDG. You shall not pass is the name of the game. And it's a beautiful play from On July, who almost does get taken down. He's taken a decent chunk of damage. So 20 seconds remaining on the board. A bit of a push needing to come up and through, and it will be electrical once again. All the information is going to be there. Mentalist still has that pulse up in play, and keep an eye because the pulse charge is also up and available. On July does get taken down. There are quite a few long angles here, but with the amount of smoke still remaining, there's no chance of getting into the site. EDG will find their way to take a match. What am I saying? To take a setup for a potential win on their first defensive side. It's a great start from them, but they need to keep it on going. I think we're about to see potentially a tactical timeout coming in from AG.
If I would be the side from AG, I would still just keep it a little bit down. Not fully on. I mean, it's just a 4-3. Of course, it's just one round, but the second goes towards that 5-3. That's when I will kind of pull the plug from the side of the coach, but at the end of the day, of course, see something very early on, a big mistake that needs to be fixed, and rather fix it earlier than later. But now we go down to the basement floor. The top side, of course, On July opened his backpack and decided to help out quite a lot.
What a shot from the Capital. What a shot.
It was very close. I mean, if that C4 would have popped, I mean, that would have already been quite an early disadvantage. But all gamers, I really want to see how they're going to attack this. Are they going to do more of a direct approach or top to bottom roam clear? They have all the utilities, let it be verticality or direct side. They kind of have a mix match in their lineup. Maybe giving them the freedom to even rotate around quite a lot, right? So if you have a mix match, you can always adapt early on or later on the round, depending on what is needed.
I wish I could make those shots in my ranked games, but regardless, for now, it is a tough situation for AG being on the back foot. The aggressive nature that is coming out from EDG seems to be putting them in a rough situation. So far, utility-wise, EDG are doing it perfectly, using the utility as it is needed. Of course, on the opposite end, look at the nitro cells from EDG. There's so many up and available for a push onto that first floor. Clearance needing to be made on that second floor. Push everyone off that top floor, get them back down to first or bottom, then push into first, get all the vertical up and ready for the side of AG, and then go for a potential plant. So they've still got a lot of time on the board. And of course, that pressure is exactly what they're looking for. Movement from both sides coming through as they gain a little bit of control. It looks like actually someone's slowly making the push up. That's going to be the information gathered. Mentalist tries to go for a quick pick, but gets spotted out. MC managing to find that, and with the logic bombs still up and available, now a lot of the members of EDG are going to be in a tough situation.
Oh my god, they've walked past each other, Tiaki. Carpe is in electrical, and from the side of it, from Moonlight, does not seem like he knows he's there. My apologies, it's On July on the top floor, fighting against the sledges, giving away his position. Trigger discipline might have slipped through there a little bit, but he could have gotten an easy kill there if they were touching hands through the walls. But he's still alive somehow, so it does not quite matter. Look at the time, 50 seconds soon left on the board, and it's gonna be Solomon starting the first kill against Bottom Love.
Well, he's done it so well throughout the entire series, and every single time he's managed to find that potential angle and open up in towards the side. It's another kill coming on the side of AG. They've got the control of this bottom floor. It's a flurry of death from the side of EDG, but the cover is up above. Plant being attempted, of course. Give it to the Montaigne to look for that plant potential. He's got an idea of where the player is, but the diffuser is put down at a perfect time. 40 seconds remaining on the board. Do we go to fight this direction, or do we take the chance to just go have a discussion? He'll confirm the kill onto Moonlight, padding the stats just a little bit, but 25 seconds. It looks like we are going to see a potential push from direction, but he's got a Montaigne in his way. That's a hard operator to get past, especially when you don't get many options, but he manages to do it. He brings it back. 3 kills from direction. AG almost showing what EDG did to them last game.
Absolutely, but we also saw that direction was kind of moving on, trying to not really get killed early on, really to use that time to even talk to the team and talk about what can we do here. What can they do better? It was the basement at the end of the day, so they've just lost one of the defensive rounds. It's back up to a 4v4. It will stay completely neutral, but he also use this time to just talk to the team, and that's what's important, because now they can either replay it or move to the tertiary side, and decided to go to the tertiary side, which here again, you can always argue, of course, the stats don't speak for it as much for the defense, but there's many teams who do prefer this bomb side over the basement, because you have to play the verticality. If you don't play it, you're gonna get yourself killed, and we saw that especially when EDG was attacking. Of course, they got them the kills. It neutralized a bit of the kills, but they had so much struggle because the top floor wasn't theirs.
It's just a back and forth in every single one of these situations. You try and get the control that you're looking for, and then immediately it gets taken away, ripped away from you. And now, AG versus EDG. I'm getting a big feeling here, Dianic. It's getting closer and closer and closer. I think we might be seeing a full match again. I feel like a max OT is potentially on the boards here. It depends on how EDG now considers the momentum that they've lost at this stage, whether or not they can bounce back from it, get those 2 rounds, maybe even 3. If not, AG could put it into contention for a series win.
Just want to say, weren't you the guy saying it was a 7-2? It's going to be a 7-3 for all gamers? Wasn't it you who said that? Yeah, you looking real guilty right now. And I was, just saying... Oh god, the kill is written all over your face. I'm sorry. Anyway, jump out is happening. Solo will get on July. And that is the first early kill. And unfortunately with that, the phone is also outside. An easy time for Solomon maybe to hack that if he has, of course, the time. But he needs to be real careful. There's still a few players up above, but he hacks the cameras. It's a lot of information now for the side of EDG. My apologies for the side of all gamers. And EDG, they gotta get rid of these default cams or bulletproof cams just to make sure there's not much information on them.
Look, I would say I'm going home, but I am home. So we can't really make any other comment about it at this stage. It's huge that On July has been picked up so quickly within the round. Solo mid looking to get immediately aggressive, almost spots out one, but he'll be spotted out himself. So CC, one player completely cut off. Solo mid manages to confirm the kill as well. AG starting to get on a little bit of a run here, as Direction and Carpe will be the 2 members to keep an eye on for EDG. They can still bring this back. It's still a winnable round, but as we start to clear a lot of that vertical, the plant opportunity begins to show itself.
Verticality also not being started with the Ram buggies. It's going to be a really tough one to really recover here. But of course, from the side of EDG, they still have that Solace from Direction down below, which might just be the play. Bottom Love will get himself a kill throughout the tiny pixel on the bomb chassis. Verticality not yet being done on his side. C4 already prepped. Nobody really there. Somebody on the sides drop down, gets the flick on the head. Gets himself a cheeky let's kill, but the verticality is there. 15 seconds. Direction still from down below. Carpe on cargo stairs. Could go in just in case. The plan's happening on the one spot, but Direction cannot help, but is on the desk. But needs to be real careful. Verticality is key here as the plant is happening. Time is running out, and it's a post plant scenario. Direction will get one bring it back down to a 2v2, so it is neutralized. They gotta go upstairs, and there we go. Both of them shifting their attention towards Aqua as they move up slowly but steady, run around the hallway. Trigger discipline, he does not shoot, but he knows he's in that corner. And look at this perfect swing. They timed it, but Yaz is on site. He needs just to wait out 17 seconds. He needs to hold it down. Can he do it as he just looks away? Once he was spotted, but direction with the shotgun will get the defuse, and there it is. Poles planned. A 2v4 completely back in the favor of EDG.
Look, it was a very, very well-played round from AG, managing to get the diffuser down, but EDG just whittling away at AG's confidence. Tactical timeout being called in for all gamers, and it's exactly what you need. EDG 1 point away from securing an overtime position, whereas AG need at least 2 rounds. So time to talk, time to figure it out. 1 round for mistakes is allowed for AG. Any more than that, and we will be seeing a map number 3. But yes, you're correct. What you were saying was correct. Look, I expected AG to continue with the momentum as it was, and I guess I have too much bias towards it, but for now, it comes down to stress. Straight up, it comes down to stress and strain and tension between these two teams. The biggest problem that I'm starting to see is EDG seemingly struggled in the first map towards the end side. This will be their 4th map of the day. If they end up winning, they go to the 5th map of the day. That's got to put so much exhaustion on the players, and you'd expect for a different sort of playstyle to start being shown. But amazingly, EDG are running this off with stride. They don't have a potential or any issues at this stage. And AG, I mean, look, they're still fresh. They should be able to finish this up as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, no, I agree with you. I mean, just the exhaustion, the durability here, again, a big factors that we already talked about a little bit. On the first map, we did see that playing the first 2 rounds really gave EDG a big momentum, right? The ego, the confidence that they needed. On the second map, we can see it's starting to really wear down because they're so long in that studio. They're playing on a land constantly under pressure. And of course, here again, if you win, you can call yourself the first ever champion to win CNL. And on top of that, you get into phase 2 of the Salt Lake City Major. And those are 2 really big things. It is not to be underestimated how much pressure these players are under. And also the coaches, same as the IGLs. But from the side of all gamers, nothing is lost yet. But it's also time of EDG. Unfortunately, they are 1 map down, so all gamers, even though if this would go to a 3rd map, it's not over completely.
Not at all. Not at all. And MC says absolutely not. Manages to find the first kill, and it is probably, if not the biggest kill that he could find so far. Carpe taken off the board. On July found as well. The 2 members that have been putting double digits up on the board for EDG are now both off, and there's so much territory that has immediately been gained by AG. This is looking better from them in terms of their coordination. Warehouse going to be under their control for now. A and B bomb sites based on that bottom floor, so the information is going to be there for them. At least they will understand the positions of a lot of these members. Maybe in a few seconds, we'll start to see them forcing the players back down towards the bottom floor site. The Clash has made it through the bans.
Clash should make it through the bans when it can now be utilized. We can see already Mental is back on that Clash, giving those information. He's gonna have to be real careful here. Of course, the man disadvantage is only a 3-4. Nothing is completely lost yet, but the IQ has to really be carefully in play against that Valkyrie. 1 C4 could turn everything completely upside down. Is it going to be used when the plan's happening? Is it going to be used when they're trying to move around and get in those positions for the execute? time will tell. And if we look at the time, it's soon only 50 seconds left. So all gamers need to prep if they want to do some verticality, and on top of that, they need to plan the execute. And time is running out as they're focusing to plant on pillar.
It looks like that is the ideal cover from both sides. Take into consideration the clash that is positioned close. It's going to be a clearance from upstairs, though, that manages to get that potential plant in towards the pillar side. But as we continue through, it is the Blitz getting that plant down and is successful to do so. AG managed to find the round win back. And now there's only one round difference between a full OT. Both teams looking for one. I think we may be seeing a potential OT state.
Listen, it's getting real close. It's the exact same I've been seeing on layer. A constant butting their heads on the sides, constant adaptation on both these two teams. But what I really loved here from all gamers is they gave EDG not a singular room or a singular space for some of their shenanigans what they've been doing. I mean, if you've been watching this game, you could have seen that, for example, Angelai has been running out a bunch of times, or he's been hiding in some of these corners, or he's been just pushing around, being aggressive, going somewhere down, rotating in some spots where you wonder, what is he doing there? And all gamers did not allow a singular thing of those shenanigans to happen in the last round. It was a very clean, a very clear, and a very well-structured top to bottom round clear. And that's what made it so well and good. That at the end, there was nothing really left for EDG to do. The plan was going to happen no matter what. It was a very well-constructed attack.
Now it begins to come down to these last set of rounds within the regulation sets, and now the first kill instantly answers back. I talked about the aggressive nature that seems to appear when AG play EDG, but that was a beautiful kill coming in from direction. Shots from up above. Solo mid expecting a player to be on that wall, makes the clearance respectively. And of course, Mentalist, he has all the information in the world. That pulse providing so much for the opposition team, and they will be able to get the IT side open on the side of AG. So a lot of pressure really being placed on both of these teams now. They're starting to feel it. They should be starting to feel it. This is where resilience comes out in its highest order. If AG can win this round, they go to series point. If EDG wins this round, they go to match point, and we may have a third match on our hands.
It is a defense though for EDG, so they should have... Oh my god. Well, as the mirror window gone, that's a big advantage for the defender side towards Connector, now eliminated. Quite unfortunate right there, but as I was wanting to say, they're on the defensive side, they have the upper hand, they have the numbers, the stats behind them, but they need another little bit of a hero play. They need somebody to really step up their game again. Because last time it was on July and he has now just been eliminated. The last time they've played this top floor side, it was on July with the triple kill towards Connector. And right now we find ourselves in a 4v4 in 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the board.
Well, MC making his way in towards the Connector side. He knows one player is positioned in servers, waiting for that potential approach. Nitrocell up and available. Flashbangs will go through, and that's the shots being placed from both below and above. That entrance is going to be cut off for the time being. Jump in being made by Solo mid, cover of the asphyxiation bolt into electrical as the shots begin to come through. It's going to be Bottom Love taken down as Carpe gets introduced to a DMR as well. Mentalist manages to find the first kill in the match for himself. And it keeps MC, Solo mid, and Railgun in a rough position. Any plant opportunity will be covered from below. Have they realized this plant being attempted? It's immediately going to be pushed off. They know that they can't get this plant point set down, but the timer is running out. This should be an EDG win. Plant goes down. Information's there on Mentalist. He can just run away. Shotgun in hand, but AG win it!
He doesn't run away. He hides around the corner. A singular second was left and he decides to peek. He's done it all. They're extra from down below. He did it best he could, but Mentalist couldn't sit still. He knew if he doesn't peek, he might get a few bullets. He might die. He had to swing, or did he? At this point, we will never know what the right decision was, but in this moment, he's given away the match point completely. It's all up to all gamers. Top floor. Completely lost. Basement lost. Will they go to the tertiary, or will they rinse and repeat? And they will go to the tertiary. This is the last stop to push this to an overtime. If all gamers win, Tiaki, they will crown themselves the champions of CNL. And he might... Oh. We have
Carpe? You good?
We have a Caveira.
Okay, well, we were talking about the aggression.
We were... Good point. Now, is that the right solution, or that's the question?
Hey, look, I mean, Carpe has been running around the map, finding his kills as necessary, but is it worth bringing in the Caveira for that bottom floor, that middle floor site? It's going to be hard to kind of see, understand, and question. It all comes down to really whether or not he's able to find those respective kills, and immediately he's playing in a bit of an off position. This doesn't normally get droned out. AG could be caught off guard with this. Could we see for the first time in the CNL? There hasn't been any other games, by the way, with this. Could we see the first time interrogation?
Listen, as much as we wanted, I don't think it's going to happen. This is a competitive setting, and I mean, we've seen many crazy upsets in every other regions, right? EML, NAL, SL, and APL. There have been fantastic Caveira plays, but those are like 1 in a million time. You don't get those too often. And I really want to see Carpe be here an impact of a player with the operator. Because here again, they're playing for the overtime. They're playing to stay alive in the grand final of CNL. They're playing for the second phase of Salt Lake City Major. This is not nothing to play for.
Well, it's immediately going to be IT Wall opened up. The Ram sends through the boogie drones, providing a lot of vertical play onto that bottom floor bomb site, the B bomb site, to be exact. And of course, MC, he's been able to deal just a little bit of damage over to direction. He took a little bit and fell off of his respective position. No nitro cells on that bottom floor. Carpe needing to make a bit of an impact play within this round. But AG, they're slowly running out of time, prepping for this execution of this play. I'm loving the fact that Direction's just waiting for a potential push in towards the warehouse side and immediately start shooting. It's going to be Yaz who's in the position to be taken out as he makes the rotation away. The information is going to be there. There is so much time, but unfortunately, the Nomad pushes him into warehouse.
That is very dangerously. Also, look at the Cav, still standing strong, all up alive, and unfortunately, they've lost a member. On July, also losing a lot of HP. The next few peaks will be happening soon. Cav! Carpe will try to get himself here outside. A kill will not be rewarded as for right now. He needs to be real careful. There's only 20 seconds left, Carpe. You can't really lose your life here. The plant's going down. They know this round is over. Post-plant scenario. He's taking a breather outside. At this point in state, we can call this nearly a silly goose round, but on July and Carpe, they might still have a little bit of a chance here, but they need to get 3 beautiful headshots, and it will be Yaz taking one more all up to Carpe with the Cav at the end of the day. Post-plan does a few of the little 360s. He knows it's over. The real question is he actually going to give up? Is he going to try something? The 360s, maybe a few of the clips, but at this point, at this rate, we can call the champions of CNL. All gamers will get the victory and can call themselves the first ever champions of CNL.
It was a rough game number one. EDG fighting all the way with All Gamers. It was a rough game two. But there we are. All Gamers have become the CNL 2026 Kickoff champions. And what a beautiful sight it is to see. They struggled throughout a lot of the playoffs. But a great answer from them. And we will absolutely see them at the Salt Lake City Major, expecting big things and watching for their plays being made.
The champions get on the stage to bow one more last time. As you already said, we'll see them at the Salt Lake City Major, but we will also see All Gamers in the second phase of Salt Lake City Major.
I mean, look, you can't count out exactly what has been done on the opposite end for EDG. They fought a long, hard battle straight up and through. 7-3, 7-1 was yesterday, but today, a 7-5 and an 8-7. They played a lot of games, but the strain just got right to it.
Let's hear it from the team that won it. Hi everyone. It's good to see hard work paying off here. These guys really happy with the results that they've had, and the fact that the hard work they've put into this one has really paid off for themselves. You can see it on the faces of the players here. They're fired up for themselves. It's the best feeling here to be able to be up on this stage, to be able to be winning on top of the CNL, to be a champions of this league, find themselves at the very best they have to offer going into the major. It's a great feeling. It's incredibly cool for themselves. And as you can see for Nomame, let's go. Incredibly happy for himself. Ready to go to the major. Let's go. Let's fucking go. The players of All Gamers incredibly fired up from this one here. Very happy with themselves. Proud just to see the hard work going on. And now they find themselves the CNL Stage 1 champions here. It's none other than the All Gamers. So here is their award. Here is their massive check for all of the prizes. Can everyone make some noise for this phenomenal team and the performance that they've done over the last couple of weeks here in the CNL? Again, congratulations guys on winning that one, on winning the CNL kickoff stage here, number one. Big achievement. Very well done. Great job of themselves here inside of this one.
你们觉得这一场谁的贡献力量最大？大家现在觉得菲诺的贡献最大，就是在我们心中此时此刻。
Who do you think is the MVP in this series? We're asking the players now of All Gamers. Who do they think is the one who's performed best, done the best over this course of this series? Hard fought battle it was, but only one can be MVP. And who is it going to be for this series?
现在可以公布本场 MVP Solo Mid 选手，恭喜！
It's Solo Mid, the MVP for the final series here in the CNL kickoff stage. Best performing player from All Gamers, going in as seed number 1 directly to phase 2 of the Salt Lake City Major. A phenomenal individual performance, helping the team go through towards their victory, and now he can raise the trophy. Congratulations to him, and let's go indeed. How does he feel about this one? How do you feel? It's great. It's a great feeling to be able to win this one. And anything else we'd like to add to that? No, apparently not. That is all he wants to add. It's a great feeling. It's a great honour to be able to lift this trophy as the MVP of CNL Kickoff Phase 1 here for the grand final of it. It's solo mid for all gamers.
Alrighty, well, there we go. The quick, cheeky interview. Massive also thank you to both Chavi being the voice and Owen being the interpreter as well for the interview. But that is it. The grand final, the kickoff stage coming to an end. Firstly, thank you as well to Dianic and Tiaki for providing the coverage for the map itself. But, man...
It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one to the point that I am lost kind of for words to describe really this whole matchup as is with the way how it all transpired from the highs and lows from EDG pushing, what was it, 5 or 6 points and then completely losing it all to Nighthaven Labs, which felt almost an equal sort of a whiplash. Before I'll get both Dianic and Tiaki, both of your opinions, because you already had plenty of comments to be made as well throughout the match itself. Travi, Puffo, talk to me, because I don't think my own peanut brain will even allow me to process what really could have and should have happened.
I mean, it's the first half is just like you mentioned. It was quite equal. It was a good back and forth that we'd imagined and would have hoped for it to continue into the second half, which sadly wasn't the case. I believe that EDG going into their own defense, into their own second half, they lacked. They were very individual. They broke apart and went to play their ones, which didn't end up working for them because, as we saw by the side of AG, they just like to use numbers, overwhelm these individuals, and get easy openers, easy doubles, and even some of the rounds ended up being flawless.
Yeah, it was a crazy one there, really, just that one. By the end of that game, I think we were all sitting in the green room there, losing our minds over it, trying to really comprehend what we were seeing in front of us, because it was some really wacky siege. For me, it signifies the pressure got to EDG, I think, a little bit towards the end there. Things got a little bit silly, got a little bit out of hand for them. All gamers fired up underneath Storm. That's the most electric I've ever seen those guys. You know, we saw them qualify to the major, they were jumping around, they were happy for that, but here was a whole nother level. Really incredibly impressed with what these guys have shown us today, and well-deserving champions here in CNL Kickoff.
Yeah, all gamers got to show us some pretty solid turnaround, and I mean, even in the inaugural sort of, I believe it was the introduction for the SI qualifiers as well, all gamers did manage to really push through and get out into the larger scene at it all. I'll start off with you as well, Tiaki. Does this now that you can, you know, put a bit more of a context, I suppose, to what was during SI Quals, what is now end of Kickoff, with all gamers being, I guess you could call it frontlining the CNL representation into the international stage for the Salt Lake Major. Does it feel like this is sort of all par for the course?
I mean, look, what we had in the playoffs definitely is represented in the group stage as well. In both ways, AG were just an unstoppable force. They were putting up absolute numbers in anything that they did. I will say, though, it has been an incredible consideration when you take into consideration upsetting 4AM and also upsetting Kingzone, the almost upset of that first map today. I mean, it was 5-1 at one point for EDG. And then even here, AG really haven't had too much competition throughout a lot of the playoffs, obviously with Wolves beating them on that one map. But this has been a good showing from EDG and a really good showing for the entire...
Yeah, well, prior to this grand final, I would agree with you, Tiaki, but Dianic, EDG... On this end, the grand finals EDG, do we believe in the curse of Mentalist, or the curse of I guess old what was it back then, Bleed as well, and prior to that many other rosters, where it's, you know, you push through the entirety of the playoffs, make it to grand finals, and then just flop.
Listen, you can argue many things, right? You can say maybe they did a classic back old G2, save the strat, save this. On the other side, you could also say that today just wasn't their day, right? Durability, they had to play two best of threes. Like, there's so much going on, right? I would say definitely well deserved from all gamers to get this grand final victory, to call themselves the champions, to be the first ever team to be crowned as the winner of CNL. Like, well deserved. They played fantastically. They always had an answer. Even if it took them 15 rounds on layer, they still proven to be better. And all the MVPs, especially from Solo, was so well deserved. And there we just saw the MVP from the second map. It was MC, but Solo was crowned the MVP overall. But hey, listen, 2 maps, really big fight from EDG. Look at this compared to yesterday. And I think everybody can agree here. And I actually want to get the votes here from Travi, because you're on the desk. Yesterday we saw EDG losing quite heavily to all gamers. Did you see something that they did today so much more differently, or was it just because they were warmed up?
I honestly couldn't really put a finger on it. I think they were partially warmed up. I mean, that lair was really close because obviously the sides were a bit maniacal, but also it was a case of all gamers were trying a lot of the similar things towards yesterday. It just felt more cohesive today. I think they really had a lot more stake in the game today, because you know this is your last chance. You don't have that safety net of a lower bracket to fall to anymore. You're not replaying this grand final if you lose this game. This is it. This is the final game to qualify towards that phase 2 of the major. You're playing without that safety net, so you're putting everything out on the table here if you're all gamers to qualify yourselves the champion of Kickoff, to get to that phase 2 spot. And without that safety net, they unleashed themselves. And for me, just played a little bit more cohesively today. It wasn't a drastically different game plan overall, but what they did play individually was better and more cohesive as a unit. Got them the win here nice and comfortably again.
Just quickly, Cthulhu. Who voted for AG? Who voted for AG here?
Yeah, no.
I'm glad to see that they managed to get it right through.
Exactly. No, look, it's great to see that AG sort of followed up through their whole entire run of the upper bracket, and managed to really close it all out despite some of the initial sort of signs showing a completely polar opposite result. But before we'll close out the time for you and let both of you go, final thoughts. Kickoff, so far CNL, we got to see finally something as a whole season rather than just qualifiers. Is CNL the new sort of potential dominant part of APAC, or there's still going to be a lot more clashes?
Yeah, let's just start off by saying CNL has been absolutely incredible, I think, for all of us and every other caster, producer, and every other person in the back end. It's just been absolutely amazing to watch. And you compare CNL to a lot of the other regions around the Oceanic sort of area and the APAC region. They are definitely contenders coming up on that. It'll be interesting, really, really interesting to see what happens when they start going up against Brazilian teams or the EML teams. There are so many options that they can play and so many different ways that they can really approach it. So I think CNL has been one of the best regions to watch, especially for just coming in with their first setup.
Exactly.
Listen, for the first time they even joining this whole setup, right? This is their first ever stage and that's what's also called Kickoff, right? First stage is going to be later on in the year, then there's a second stage, maybe even a qualification for SI, but I would say definitely, I would count CNL as a completely new region. APL is fantastic. It has multiple different regions, Oceania, South Asia, and so many fantastic regions. But CNL itself, it is just so different to the rest of the world. That's why in my heart, it deserves its own spot as a single other region, just like SAL, NA, and EML. I would say we have 5 really strong contender region, right? And CNL, give it a year or 2, and I think they're going to be at the top playing with EML and SAL as well.
There we go. Well, thank you very much for providing the coverage as well. We'll let you go. Dianic, Teaki, have a wonderful rest of your evening/day. For us though, gents, this is also, we will get to wrapping up. Let's stick, just sort of once again, cast our sight one more time to the results today to get a little bit more of a wider sort of picture once again, just to sort of a bit of a retrospective. We kicked it off with the EDG Wolves. After that, we thought that EDG would in fact be doing the gaming of Edward, but in fact Edward decided to take a nap, it seems, at the end of the the end of the finals. Overall thoughts so far on the whole day?
Well, overall thoughts, I mean, I think it's been a great day, I guess. Like we've mentioned already, I think it's a great display of China and what they're able to do. The reason they are now going to be hopefully showcasing good progress for the region and its early entrance and on an international level as well. But in general, I think it's also a good way to set up a precedent for anyone stepping into the scene, anyone new to CNL, to see what teams are good, what teams are not. And it's also this early phase where people can grow onto teams and players such as Direction, such as Yaz, such as Solo Mid, right? There are these players that are going to put themselves on a good spotlight in the early point, and this is the point where you want to watch them grow.
Yeah, it's been really great to watch these guys grow throughout the entirety of the stage, all the way from the groups, all the way through the entirety of playoffs. Like you say, Bob, it's been a great opportunity to see these guys kind of change and evolve as they move through the entirety of Kickoff. Because these teams, they have learned each other, they have built upon themselves here, and they have really shown us that CNL is looking competitive, it's looking great. And as we get one representative from each of our 4 major teams up here on the stage, I don't know. I think we're getting Owen back in here to hopefully give us another translation of what's going on through.
Yeah. We're gonna have to wait. Gonna have to wait and see when the translation comes through. But these are the 4 top players, the representatives, as you mentioned, and I mean these are the four brands going into the Salt Lake Major. Quite an exciting and in to be soon event that I'm hoping we're gonna see as much from. You know, majors are always a good time.
There we are. So these rounds,
representatives for the CNL and at the Salt Lake City. They get to showcase the necklace of, well, representing as well, and well, getting everyone's thoughts as well. I would imagine they will be all very much stoked. And the end goal, according to the players as well, is that they all want to reach the pinnacle of esports. From Wolves, it's the promise to do the best, to try and really perform and really showcase and put, well, CNL on the map, on the global stage. And honestly, from the rest of the team, it's they just want to really just, you know, push themselves and manage to, well, try to improve and better themselves, and then bring back the experience back to the overall back to the China League as well. So honestly, there's a lot of just the overall connection here. Well, not connection, what am I saying? A lot of the just passion as well, and a lot of promise with these rosters. Really, look, I'm quite excited for each one of those rosters. All Gamers, EDG, Wolves, and 4 Angry Men, very deserved for rosters to represent CNL. Now, really wondering how will they be able to perform. Honestly, to me, I would still say that they have a pretty solid opportunity here to really catch quite a few of the teams off guard. Albeit, I would still say that they will be the underdogs here, and ultimately expected to potentially have a bit more of a rougher run. But I mean, let's take a look at the bracket once again. Yeah, All Gamers, nearly a flawless run, only to be having a slight bump with Wolves Esports, but otherwise everything else felt like a bit of a chaotic derby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was a chaotic derby. I think we also got to see our moments of shine and peace and strategy, but overall it's been quite chaotic. I mean, you could also see through the results a lot of 2-0s, so there wasn't a constant back and forth, but in general, it was a good time.
Yeah, well, with that comes the conclusion of our side of the coverage. Thank you all very much for watching us. Thank you very much for tuning in on behalf of the entire team here at Capping TV as well. Thank you, take care, and we'll see you, well, hopefully in the next one.